stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
And welcome everybody to the SNN Saturday Sunday night Stacy Strong Cup Series live from Richmond. I'm Alan Bergen, just south of St. Louis in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth, and my partner in crime tonight, Mr. Matt Mettler. Matt, how's it going?
Alan, it's going great. Great to be back for some SNN Cup Series action coming at you from the Mid-Atlantic, Richmond, Virginia, the place. Little short track action. It's great to be back up here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth with you. I'm ready and I'm fired up, ready to rock and roll for tonight.
Well, hey, you know, every Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, you're used to hearing Mr. Dave Regal. Well, Dave is taking a much-needed break. He's extended the Olympic break, if you will. So I've graciously went ahead and filled in for him tonight. And tonight looks like 400 miles of great racing action. We got 30 cars signed in the pit area, 30 cars attempting to take time. And, you know, Matt, if tonight's going to be anything like the spring race, we're in for a banger of a race tonight.
Well, that is what it should be. You know, sometimes you have to use the chrome horn here every once in a while, but you know, this race is all about having that rhythm as a race car driver, and these boys here are primed for an epic showdown here in prime time. as we get set, ready to rock and roll here from Richmond.
Yeah, it looks like qualifying's just wrapping up right now. Bobby Anderson on the pole with a 22.30. So 22 seconds a lap to get around this joint. And, well, if you've been paying attention to the NASCAR news lately, I bet this week was like Chris's for Chris Claude, as he's a huge Atlanta Braves fan. As the breaking news this week was, the Cincinnati Reds and the Atlanta Braves are going to play baseball at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Unfortunately, I'm not with you there on the baseball front, as I'm more of a football guy myself, but preseason in full swing. Can't tell you much about the Braves. I know they're in Atlanta. That's about it. But I do know Bobby Anderson is on the pole tonight, and he is going to have, I think, his way with the field this evening. He's kind of a short track ace, if you will. So we're just going to have to see how things turn out here tonight as we get rack stacked, ready to rock and roll here from Richmond.
Well, before we do that, let's go over the points tonight. As there they are. As right now, Sean Rogers has 858 points coming into the night, with Nolan Hodgins right there in second position. Bobby Anderson running third right now in the points. Paul Hill fourth. Your top five is Chris Davis. Then you go back to sixth with Matthew Long. Neil Pearson seventh in points right now coming into tonight. Tanner Marty eighth in points. Matt DiCiani is ninth. Rounding out your top 10 in points is Eric Papineau with 525 points. So it's a 300-point difference between Papineau and Sean Rogers. Mike Witt there with Ironman Motorsports also with 525 points. Sitting 12th, Derek Heitman with 509 points. Patrick Gitter with 476 points. Right back there in 12th. Chad Sanner with, 458 points. Chris Claude, the chief cook and bottle washer, with 404 points. So a lot of names back here in the point standings, and we're going to go ahead and scroll through the rest of them. So that way it doesn't take us too much time to get through all of these guys. And, one of these guys could have a bad night. There's still a lot of racing left to go. We took 2 weeks off for the Olympics. And, I'm just excited to finally see SNN come back. I was lost. So what do you do for 2 weeks while you're waiting? It's like waiting on Santa Claus. It's like 10 days before Christmas time. Come on.
Well, speaking of Santa Claus, we got someone on the camera right now that may reference a younger version, perhaps a more lit version. That is the man, the myth, the legend, Dave Regal. What are you doing coming out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I assume?
Gentlemen, I am here at Southern Command in beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Glad to be with you tonight for the call to green. And the Long Island iced tea has begun to flow.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because Dave, coming out of Olympic break, I know Dave was like, man, what do I do with my hands? And I was fortunate enough to have Dave on a couple of races that I am the voice of, and this just wouldn't feel right without Dave bringing us the green tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race tonight here in Richmond. And I'll tell you what, for these laps that they're going to run, you're going to see a lot of these drivers that have kind of taken a backseat the last couple of weeks. They took the 2 off weeks for the Olympic break, and now they're ready to start putting those things, into effect for the, finally.
Well, Dave, I will tell you this: as long as you want to, you're more than welcome to hang out here tonight. You can hang out for as long as you want to. You can hang out for as short as you want to. But either way, we're happy to have you. So far, while these guys get cranked up for the grid here, let's go over those qualifying results. As right now, Bobby Anderson is officially your pole sitter tonight, with Paul Hill going to start on that outside. And, Bobby Anderson, as Matt alluded to, Dave and Matt, is is a short track racer at heart, and 30 cars signed in. There's not going to be a lot of room for error tonight.
Yeah, of course, the one that I'm watching right now, Matt, is Sean Rockin' Rogers here in the 44 machine. Of course, I'm assuming that Amanda Price is in the YouTube.com live chat cheering him on. The interesting thing about him that I'm keeping an eye on is how he's going to be in traffic, because in 2 weeks he's going to be my drafting partner in the Coke 0400 at Daytona.
Dave, I'm glad you're on vacation, because this kind of like practice for me.
Well, hey, Regal's got a great point. That is going to be his dancing partner when we get to Daytona. So how Rogers, a.k.a. the Rockin' version, performs in traffic tonight is going to be something, obviously, Dave's going to be paying attention to, myself and you included, Alan. And you know what? To be quite honest, I think he's going to be like the Iceman. Nothing really phases this guy. We've seen him contested time after time under pressure, and he never seems to falter. He's almost robotic, and I think he's going to be able to drive that race car, that beast mode performance infused machine, right to the front of this thing. I mean, and Dave, let's face it, that's what we've seen him do time and time again. Why should tonight be any different?
Now, Sean Rogers is one of those drivers where when he gets to the front of the pack, he just goes ahead, hits that clean air, and takes a step away from everybody else. He winds up getting himself in some really good positions. Where he's going to have trouble is if he does get up front tonight, getting through the lap traffic, because there are a lot of drivers in every league, not just this one, who have a lot of trouble here on this short track here in the state that is supposedly for lovers. Which is why I'm here with you, my work wife.
Hey, well, I get a great view of the beach house from behind you. I'm a little bit jealous. I'm not going to lie. Looks like you're having a good time out there. I see the 360 view going on. Is Dave's taking me out onto the long dock here, it seems.
Yes, he's got to find his position to call you to green.
Yeah, it's got to be just right.
But, speaking of Sean Rogers, so as long as Sean Rogers is not doing anything on the track right now, which it does not appear that he's doing anything, we're going to go ahead and bring
Dave.
Sean to the broadcast booth.
Well, we are.
Maybe.
The only thing Dave is missing is a scooter rental.
Hey,
you know
Sean.
what? I would be all in on the scooter rental right about now.
Sean, is Dave, Matt, and myself up here in the SRM booth? You got us.
Yeah, I got you guys. How you doing?
Hey, look, man, coming off that Olympic break, and here we are at Richmond, starting off with the short track, and you're leading the points. What are you looking for tonight in the race tonight here to kind of stay out of trouble?
Well, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to maintain my point lead. Those the 15 bonus points for winning the regular season are definitely important. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep myself out of trouble. Short tracks have a way of, trouble can find you real quick. So just try to keep my nose clean and try to be there at the end.
Yeah, for sure. And, we got a long race to go tonight. You're going to start off in the daytime. And, I'm sure Amanda will be rooting you on to victory as she normally does here in the YouTube.com live chat. But, nonetheless, 400 miles. So, are you planning on just putting it out front and standing out front, or are we going to...
Well, obviously the track temp's going to change a lot over the course of the race, switching to night. I know that my car is going to come alive, as it gets darker, as I'm sure a lot of people's are. So, it's just a matter of, like I said, just trying to stay out of the crap, and if we got a chance at the end, definitely go for it.
All right, brother, we're going to get you down to your team so you can get ready and get focused up while we go through the starting lineup.
Appreciate it, guys.
And that was Sean Rogers you were hearing from. And guys, there's only one thing left to do before we get going here, and that's getting onto the starting lineup tonight. So with that being said, on the pole tonight is Bobby Anderson if it switches. Okay, we'll just go right next to him. Sometimes I feel like Steve Harvey. Out of Jacksonville, Florida, on the outside pole is Paul Hill, and then we're going to switch back to Bobby Anderson, who wins the pole out of Mansfield, Ohio. Starting third tonight on the grid from Brunswick, Maine, will be Tane Hodgson. Two's outside from Western Perth, Australia, will be Neil Pearson. Starting, well, as they get going here, we'll do it like this. Starting fifth will be Michael Caffrey in that number 54 car on the inside of the third row. On the outside of the third row will be Noah Hamilton. Starting seventh will be Sean Rogers. Matty Long will be starting eighth tonight. Oh, I just messed that up? Okay.
Going to take a quick look here at your top 10 because the iRacing.com pace car lights should be off right about now.
2 laps.
Chad Center going to round out your top 10. Eric Papineau and Tyler Sexton going to be here in row number 6 holding things together. Row 7 going to feature Mark Johnson and Ron Fitting. Chris Custer and Michael Witt going to be in row number 8. Row 9 features Tanner Marty and Diego Rodriguez, while Logan Giesbrecht and Chris Claude, the chief cook and bottle washer here in the SNN Cup Series, going to be in row number 10. Derek Heitman and Chris Davis going to be in row 11 with Timothy Cook and Cody McCorkle rounding out the top 12. The iRacing.com pace car lights are off now as Timothy Cook, Cody McCorkle, Brian Tarnowski, Rich Jett, Steve Herring, John Wilco, Ken Run, Matt Mackin, and Richard Pruitt round out the 31 drivers that are going to take the green flag tonight. As we work our way down the backstretch, the iRacing.com pace car leading everybody 2 by 2 as if it's going to be time to get here into the arc. And as we work our way into turns 3 and 4, the only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some popcorn, call a friend, and settle in. Race fans, it's showtime!
Man, Dave, I couldn't have done that any better if I tried to. As these guys are just, wow, all of a sudden so racy here. And right now you got, we're looking at Bobby Anderson at number 18. Here comes the Candyman, put it out front early. So we have 400 laps. We got 100 laps in stage 1 tonight. And, Dave and Matt, these guys are just cranked up to crazy already. Right now we got a little bit of action going on here in the back. This is what iRacing is going to, or Lifetime is going to deem the most action on the racetrack is the 66 car of Chris Custer is painted up as a Tide ride tonight. As it looks like I lost my broadcast button. Okay. So here we are, Chad Sanner. In that number 94 car, we are working lap number 4, and everything seems to be kosher so far as we're going to go back through the field and see if we can find anything else going on. As we're looking at Chris Davis here back there in 18th position. So far, everybody minding their P's and Q's through 5 laps here. Got a car standing back there. There's 2's outside. Now we're looking at the number 88 of Michael Witt there. That PepsiCo number 88. And I mean, there's just so much action all around the racetrack here. There's Sean Rockin' Rogers. And these guys learned something from the spring race. That's not to get after it too early, too quickly. As Sean Rogers working his way back down that back straightaway into turn 3. Take you high above the racetrack here. There's the drone cam as Dave Regal has somehow made his way to the drone, and picked up the controller and started flying his drone around the racetrack, following Sean Rogers. Tane Hodison running third right now. And that's Paul Hill running second with Bobby Anderson. The Candyman, Bobby Anderson, running P1. A little bit further back in the field, Chris Claude, as I mentioned earlier. He's like a kid at Christmas right now as he found out his Atlanta Braves will be playing the Cincinnati Reds there at Bristol Motor Speedway. 10 laps in. We got 90 laps to go into the end of the stage. Brian Tarnowski right behind him, and that's Stacy Strong, number 28 Toyota, which the series is named after. He's looking to the inside of Chris Claude. Can he try to make it happen? No, he's going to think wisely of it. Here comes Richard Pruitt in that number 24 car. He's going to try to... look to the outside is Chris Claude, the Chief Cook and Bottle Washer here at Sunday Night NASCAR. To the outside, they're thinking about making 3 wide. I don't think they can get it done. Looks like Richard Pruitt's going to be on the inside. He's going to go by Chad Sander. Does he go by Tarnowski and get the 2-for-1 special? And these laps are going to go off pretty quickly here tonight. Oop, thinking about it? Nope, can't complete it. There goes Richard Pruitt. We're going to go on board. He's going to get around Tarnowski there from Sanford, North Carolina. And he's got his eyes set on Timothy Cook there and that number 09 car. Right now, these guys could be shifting. I don't think so. We're going to look here. 128 and... I mean, these guys will definitely shift throughout the middle of the run as Amanda Price is cheering on Sean Rogers. Andrew Dyson says that Bobby Anderson's a hot lap specialist, and Matt Whitley says, let's go Matt Long. He almost shifted for a moment there. As we're riding on board with Richard Pruitt. There we go. Now we're going to ride on just for Amanda Price. We're going to ride on board with Sean Rogers out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. And that number 44 Beast Mode 44, the Chevy Silverado or Chevy Camaro. And we have our first caution as Diego Rodriguez is showing crashed. Let's see what happened. To Diego out of Adrian, Michigan. And not what you want to see there. As Diego brings out the first caution of the evening here on lap 16. So we go back out to the live picture here. Bobby Anderson continues to lead the way here on lap number 18 of the 400 that are scheduled to be run. So far as Bobby Anderson, Paul Hill, Neil Pearson, Tane Hodison, Sean Rogers, running out your top 5. As we are at lap number 19 of the 400 scheduled to be run here today. Want to thank everybody for joining us in the youtube.com live chat. Want to thank the viewers out there for making Sunday Night NASCAR, the Stacy Strong Cup Series, and Sim Racing Media your entertainment destination here on Sunday night. As we are under caution here at lap number 19 for an event that involved Diego Rodriguez, and there are no fast repairs, so the damage that you get is the damage you have to repair, and you know, on a short track like this, it's going to be very hard to make it up. Here as we get ready to go 2x2 Noah's Ark style. Green flag getting ready to come out. iRacing.com pace car bringing this field down to green flag down to the back straightaway. And Bobby Anderson and Paul Hill are going to bring the field back to green flag racing. And we are green here in Virginia. So you come back out to the live picture. Here comes Bobby Anderson and that number 18 car, Paul Hill. Everybody up here in the top three, right where they started from. Tane Hodison up here in that three car. Neil Pearson on the outside. Sean Rogers starting 7th. He's up 2 spots. We're on lap 23. And my broadcast partner, Matt Mettler, experiencing some severe weather in his neck of the woods. That's why you don't hear Matt. That's why you hear yours truly. Speaking of Matt Mettler, there's Matt Long in that number 97 car. We're working lap 24. Here comes Michael Caffrey. Eric Papineau there in that number 17 car. You know, we're getting to that time of the year where you're going to see a lot of different paint jobs. As we got fans of Chris Custer there, and that look, you gotta love the guy that painted his car up as, to make it look like the Tide Ride. I mean, come on, how do you not like that? How do you not like that paint scheme? Michael Witt in that number 88 PepsiCo. That is a Chevy Camaro SZL1. Almost said SS. They don't make the SSs no more. And these guys are on the north side of crazy as we go a little bit deeper in the field. There's Diego Rodriguez, the cause of our first caution. And right around there, Chris Claude is quietly just turning laps, trying to get to this first stage and figuring out what he has. There as he's in that Monster Energy Toyota Camry. And oh, we got an incident going on. We're going to stay green. We had a car bounce off the wall. One car of Matt Mackin. It's like Cody McCorkle coming down pit road. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, there's the candy man, Bobby Anderson. Paul Hill, riding right behind him in that second position. We come back a little bit deeper. There's Neil Pearson from Western Perth, Australia. And, this is like an early morning drive for Neil Pearson. The top three are now spread out. So we're working lap number 30 of the 400 that are scheduled to be run here today. And right now we got Matt Long working on that 93 car of Tane Hodgson. Does Matt Long try for the 2-for-1 special? And he's not going to be able to get there. As it took Matt Long just enough time to get by Tane Hodgson in that number 93 car. Sean Rogers, you know, trying to get away from Matt Long like he's being served lunch. So we come back a little bit deeper. There's Michael Caffrey. They're in that number 54 car. And we will definitely do this. Michael Caffrey out of Perth, Australia. 2 Aussies in the field tonight. Wow, you learn something every day. As we are under caution number 2. And let's see what happened. 2 to the tide right of Chris Custer. He's gonna lose it, left, right, and there it is. Ooh, what a hit. Yikes. He takes a violent hit there. As we are going to come back out to the live picture, we are under caution number 2 here on lap 34. And let's see if we can do this. See if we can get a different angle from that Chris Custer. There he goes, left, right, to the left, to the right, and looks like he's almost got it stopped and saved, and then here comes, oh, yikes. I believe that was the 01 car of Matt Mackin that got a piece of that. As we come back out to the live picture there. Here on lap 35. Ooh, that was bad. Diego Rodriguez getting his car repaired some more. As right now, the 21st, 22nd, Chris Claude, Timothy Cook, Ken Ron, Diego Rodriguez, all those guys are leaving the pits. Matt Mackin in that 01 car. Steve Herring in the 89 car is still on pit road in 29th and 30th, respectively. Want to thank Dave Regal for joining us here in the booth for a little bit of our pre-race and for bringing us to green tonight. Want to thank everybody in the YouTube.com live chat. Let us know who you're rooting on. We'll get them on camera and, you know, show them some, give them a shout out. So we are working lap 36 of 400. 100 laps this stage. Stage 2 will be 200 laps. And then the final stage will be another 100 as we will, that will make up to 400 miles here, 400 laps. Right now, Bobby Anderson is your race leader. Paul Hill is running second position right now. Neil Pearson up 1 spot. We started 4th. Sean Rogers up 3 spots. Matt Long up 3 spots. Right now, your biggest mover of the race right now is all the way back there in 19th, and that's Richard Pruitt, who started 12th, or up 12 positions from where he started from. Right now, we're working lap number 38 here of 400. Lap 38 of 400, and these guys are lined up, getting lined up 2x2 nose arc style, as the lights on the iRacing.com pace car have been extinguished. As we work our way into turn number 3. Here we go. Barney's got the green flag in the air. Bobby Anderson, Paul Hill will lead the field back to green here at lap number 38 to start lap number 39, and we are green flag racing once again. Bobby Anderson still continues to lead this race. Here comes Sean Rogers. Looking to go for the lead here. Sean Rogers. Here he comes. And he is closing in on Bobby Anderson. Bobby Anderson, the Candyman. Sean Rockin' Rogers. Paul Hill looking to make a move. Neil Pearson, he's got Tane Hodgson on the outside. Does he complete the pass? No, he can't. Tane Hodgson's going to try to pass Neil Pearson and look for a little bit more. Oh, and Tane Hodgson gets a little bit loose. This race will end at night. So right here, here's the weather report. It is a 82-degree ambient temperature with 59% relative humidity. And as Dave Regal said, it's the witching hour for the racetrack. So we got a car on the extreme inside. 90-degree track temperature in lap number 43. We will continue to monitor that throughout the evening here. Bobby Anderson still continues to lead. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Sean Rogers there in that number 44 car continues leading. Matt Mackin is so far, he's like laps down. Cody McCorkle still in the pits. Paul Hill continuing to give chase. Neil Pearson back there in that fourth position. Tane Hodgson went to the outside right on the restart. It's almost like he had nowhere else to go but the outside. Matt Long and that number 97 car giving pursuit to Tane Hodgson like he's going to serve up lunch to him. Oh my, whoa, hello. Matt Long looking to the inside of Tane Hodgson. He's going to get the position, and that's going to be for position number 5. Here comes the 97 car. Run, Neil, run, because Matt Long is, essentially coming for you. Eric Papineau and that number 17 car. We go on board with the Meineke ride, and you're going to start seeing these guys, show off these colorful paint scheme. Driver out of Williamsburg, Virginia. Sponsors that car are Meineke and Live Church, or LibertyLive.Church. We look to the back, and that's Michael Caffrey there, the other driver from Australia. Gotta love that car. It looks like the FedEx colors, but it's not. Working lap 50, nothing doing here at the top of the leaderboard as Bobby Anderson continues to lead the parade around Richmond Raceway. Wow. I mean, look, we've only had a couple of cautions here. throughout the first as we're halfway through the first stage. So far, no one's taking tires. No one's taking a pit stop, really. I bet they're going to wait till the end. They're going to try to ride this out for the first 100 laps. So a lot of these drivers have been practicing real hard, trying to get a handle on this racetrack through running official races all week, running your, your A-class races, running the NIS series, running other leagues that, might be beneficial to them. Right now, Bobby Anderson leads Sean Rogers, and this not by a huge gap. There's your eyeball test. I mean, he's right there. Sean Rogers is ready to pounce at any time. Neil Pearson running fourth. That's where he started at on the grid. As we watch Chris Claude back there in this hornet's nest, if you will. Chris Claude, your number 10 to Chief Cook and Bottle Washer here at Sunday Night NASCAR. And now he's got a kerfuffle in front of him. Is what does he do with the 45 and the 24 of Noah Hamilton and the 24 of Richard Pruitt? I mean, obviously he's got to be patient, but you can't be too patient. I mean, still got a long ways to go. As Amanda Price cheering on Sean Rogers there, who's running second, says, "Come on, Sean."
Come on, Sean. Amanda Price screams out, Sean Rockin' Rogers, as he's rolling in that second place position just behind Bobby Anderson and that 18 machine. And how about Sean? He graded up in that 7th place position. He's been hard on the charge in that Beast Mode Performance Chevrolet, Allen, and he's right there in the Catbird machine.
Welcome back, Cotter.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. We took a direct one to the chin. Hopefully I didn't blow your eardrums out as I got sent out of town. But I'm back on the backup connection trying to make this happen, buddy.
Hey, no worries. And, we're just glad you're okay and that you're able to be here. As, it's been pretty eventful. We had a couple cautions as we go back here with Chris Custer bringing out the last caution in that tide ride. And, he's laps down, but, Matt, you got to see this car.
Which car are we talking about there, boss?
This is Chris Custer in the Tide number 66.
And the Tide Ride 66. Oh my! Take a look at that paint scheme, Alan. You are 100% on point with that one. That's starting to flame in my heart right there.
I mean, exactly. Let's go out to look. We gave Dave Regal the keys to the drone, and he's an excellent pilot from afar. Lap number 59, and right now Bobby Anderson continues to lead the way. But there he is. There's the Tide Ride, that number 66 car. All in his beauty, as he did take on some damage there. Oh, we got Diego Rodriguez having a moment there in that number 34 car.
Oh, yeah, he's way off the pace. He's going to save it, though. He's got it back in gear and back underway there. And looks like we're going to stay under green flag conditions here. But that 34 Menards Bass Pro Shops machine went for a ride, and he's got some damage on the business end of that race car.
Well, look, he might want to go see Chris Custer and get some tide for those shorts. You like what I did there?
Yeah, nicely done, by the way.
Hey, I've
obviously
been
talking about Chris Custer there, and the Tide Ride 66, who currently runs in that looks like a 23rd place position. He slid back a few spots from where he started, but he's got all corners on that Ford Mustang, and Alan, he's going to be hard on the charge, especially if somebody happens to stain their race suit.
I love it. Lap 62, and look, it's been the Candyman, Bobby Anderson, all race long. But, this is, so as you see the interval right here between the Candyman, Bobby Anderson, and Sean Rockin' Rogers, who Amanda Price is cheering on. That's the eyeball test right there. You ain't gonna get any closer than that.
Well, from one perspective, you got the beast from the east in the 44, Sean Rocket Rogers knocking at the doorstep, and then you said AKA the Candyman. So hopefully the M&M's car doesn't get turned into Reese's Pieces at any time soon.
I love Reese's Pieces. Hey, if anybody out there in the YouTube.com live chat wants to get your boy Alan some Reese's Pieces, I'll give you an address and you just mail them to me. They might be melted by the time they get here, but hey. We're like Evel Knievel. We only get paid for the effort.
That's well said, Alan. But how about Sean Rogers? You know, he started in 7th. He's currently running literally about a half a car length or less. Oh, he's there.
Oh, that is about as loose can get without spinning out. Oh.
You think the 44 does not want that lead? I mean, he is just menacing off the back of Bobby Anderson and that 18. He had a big time moment there coming off the corner, able to gather up that Chevrolet Camaro. Didn't lose any positions on the racetrack. So, Alan, it's pretty much reset, reload, and back at it, if you will.
Well, you know, we've had like 3 cautions right now for cause. And no one is taking tires unless you're in the back half of that field. As we got roughly, 32 laps left in the stage. And my math might not even be mathing. But, these guys are on extremely old tires, so any egregious move can result in either 1, a car into the wall, or 2, as we're watching Sean Rogers give Bobby Anderson, the Candyman, a hard time. And this is the way this is the way it's been all race long.
He's stalking him right now like the Dale Earnhardt Intimidator himself, just riding a couple inches back off the bumper.
He's going to do it again.
Here we go. He looks to the inside. He's going to get on the bottom. It's a door-by-door. John Forrest through the corner.
Side by side, or Anderson gets to the wall. They're drag racing.
They still don't have it settled yet. It's the 18 on the outside, the 44 Rogers on the inside.
Slide job right in front of him.
It's going to be Rogers.
Oh, man. Amanda Price has got to be jumping up and down as Sean Rogers takes the lead right now. And I wish we had an in-car cam right now, an actual in-car cam where we could watch these guys in the rig. This is the kind of racing that these guys practice for all week long. And as I mentioned earlier, these guys do official races. They do the INS races. They do countless hours of practice. We got caution on the racetrack.
Oh, thank God. My retirement was second delay.
Yeah, someone needs to go check on Amanda Price as she may have blew her Popeye's biscuits when it got good in the neighborhood as the 44 put it on the back door of Big Bobby Anderson. And Alan, I think that Beast Mode Chevrolet is going to take the win here in the stage.
Okay, so this is the stage. I thought it was 100.
Oh, wait, that's caution. I'm sorry about that. I apologize.
That's all right. It doesn't show anybody crashed, but we are going to have wholesale pit stops here.
And here they come, being led by Sean Rogers. There's the 18 of Bobby Anderson. Paul Hill, who started in that second place position, he's slid 1 spot back to 3rd. Suddenly, pit road becomes the most popular place inside Richmond International Raceway. So, Alan, here's the beauty of the secondary connection. I got no SDK timing and scoring. I'm relying solely on iRacing. So I'm going to do my best to hang up and hang with you as you call this race. Is this a drag race off pit road? Looks like Bobby Anderson's going to beat the 44. And the 6 of Paul Hill and that Dent Slayer machine is going to stay right where he is in 3rd.
Yeah, right now Bobby Anderson's going to retake the lead had drove you the race off of pit road, and like this has been entertaining so far through 74 laps, and Brian Tarnowski stays out. He's down 13 laps. Let's see here. That looks like it's Cordy McCorkle there in that number 78 car right behind him as these guys are going to go ahead and get that wave around. Or they're going to have to wait on the inside for the whole field to essentially go by.
Yeah, but nonetheless, some of these guys are going to get that all-critical lap back here. As you mentioned, Cody McCorkle. So Hill's going to be able to come around here and rejoin the lead lap pack.
Yeah, so, Brian Tarnowski had an incident earlier in the field. The pink car there, honoring his late wife and, who the series is appropriately named after, the Stacy Strong Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series. And, we did the iRacing. The lights are still on the iRacing.com pace car, and the sun's starting to go down. So as we start seeing the sun get lower and lower, the track temperature is still at 90 degrees, and the humidity has went down. We're still at 81 degree ambient temperature. So, Matt, this is what I call a Chamber of Commerce type of day. You couldn't have scripted the day any better. And, at 90 degree track temperature, well, 89 now as it dropped 1 degree. As Dave Regal says, it's the witching hour.
That's right. It is the witching hour, and which one of these cars has the power to harness the weather, the changing conditions, and that asphalt's going to change a lot here. So, as Darrell Waltrip used to say, comers and goers, if you please. It's been all Bobby Anderson, but at the end of that long run, Sean Rogers was able to show the 18, hey, you play around long enough. I got that long run speed, which he is known for, I might add, to go up there and take it from you. So we're going to see how this race evolves. And as that sun begins to set and these lights come on here in Richmond, it's really going to start to come to life here as we get ready to go back to green flag racing.
Bobby Anderson, Sean Rogers on the front row. And we are green as we head down to turn number 1.
Green flag in the air, and Bobby Anderson catches him on the snooze button. He's going to send it down into the 1 and 2 complex. But here comes the 44 looking for more. He is just a couple inches off the back of the 18. The 18 is going to throw a big tire block to the inside. But the Silver Pierce, Neil Pearson on the outside. He's in a drag race with the 6. Don't look to pick up the sticks because here they come. They're rumbling. They're stumbling down into the corner. And Bobby Anderson still large and in charge. But Rogers able to slip a gear. He's going to let her rip tater chip, Cleaners McFarland style, down into the corner. And Ellen, and they are side by side. There is some crazy racing going on in front right now.
Hey, do you got a blanket? Because that's where the top 5, you can put a blanket over these guys as Sean Rogers, Bobby Anderson, Paul Hill, and the modern day Silver Fox, Neil Pearson, are all right there. And Matt Long trying to get into the mix here. So we're working lap 79, working closer to that stage break. And right now, getting advantage to Bobby Anderson as they cross the line. Holy cow.
I mean, this battle up front between Anderson and Rogers is absolutely textbook. You can't ask for anything better. I mean, the 6, he doesn't know who to go with. Should he go to the high side? Should he go to the bottom? The middle of both of them? He has no clue right now. These two are just in a World War II style dogfight as they have been side by side literally since we retook the green flag and set it into turn 1 for the first time. They're still side by side, door to door. I mean, Alan, can we queue up the M&M Mars guys and maybe ask them for some beast mode Reese's Pieces or M&Ms? Is there some way we can celebrate the two? I don't know. Just wondering.
Well, this is what your neighbor is getting to watch right now to Jacksonville, Florida. Paul Hill, right in that 3rd position. He's getting to watch this show. But now, here comes the other thing. These guys are going to start coming up on lap traffic here. As we got, it looks like the 89 car, Steve Herring, right in front of these guys. So what are they going to do? Is Bobby Anderson going to use Steve Herring as a pick, or is Sean Rogers going to be able to use him as a pick?
Well, I'm not sure right now. We still got to get there, but that's a great question for a little bit down the line here. You can see Paul Hill in that 6 Dent Slayer machine. And here it comes that 89 into view. So let's see. The 89's go to the high side. He's going to get out of gas. Great gentleman move, if you don't ask me, by the 89 there. Not going to affect the battle for this lead up here front. But the 44, he is going to kick the biscuit. And he is going to take the Tristan quarter. He is going to get the lead from Bobby Anderson.
As we come back out to the wide picture there. And as you see, Sean Rogers to the lead. And, if you're Amanda Price right now, you're loving what you see here on the YouTube.com live chat. And if you're Bobby Anderson, these two have been slugging it out for the last 86 laps, essentially. 86 laps, and these guys cannot get away from each other.
They can't, and so sometimes the cream rises to the top, and you're seeing that with Rogers, with Bobby Anderson. I got a lot of love for both of these drivers up here. In fact, these three, Sean Rockin' Rogers, bespoke performance. Watson Racing setups under the hood of the chassis of that 44. I partner in a line with them as well, so got a lot of love there. Bobby Anderson, he also puts on the 100% Cup Link Challenge, a series that I get to be a part of, calling the races right behind him, working up the doorstep. That's Bobby Anderson's deal. He does a great job there as well. And how about Paul Hill there in the 6? Hey, if you guys pick up a ding or a dent out there on the racetrack, he's got the Dent Slayer machine right there in 3rd place. If you have a problem, Alan, we got Chevrolet Toy, a Ford, and another Ford here at the front. I mean, we're doing everything we possibly can here to put on a great show here at Richmond, and that's exactly what these guys are doing.
Right now, we're 11 laps away from the stage break here at lap 100. Stage 2 going to be the longest stage with 200 laps, and then we're going to do another 100-lap run to the finish. Matt, this has been dynamite the whole night, and as we come to 10 to go here in the stage, right now, Sean Rogers has got to get it. He's out front, so he's accomplished that. He's already locked into the playoffs. And so these later races, as we approach that the cutoff race on who makes it in, who makes it out, and these are what I like to watch. This is when I like to watch the NASCAR season, when you have the drama. You had 26 races to get here to get to this point, right? But you don't want to let off the proverbial gas too soon. As making the playoffs is half the battle here in this series, but the other half is getting those bonus points, so that way you're sitting high, wide, and handsome, kind of like Sean Rogers is right now, sitting high, wide, and handsome in that lead, as Paul Hill is getting ready to put the hairnet on and serve Bobby Anderson lunch.
Sounded like you were quoting a song by Ludacris, if you'd ask me. But yeah, that's right. High, wide, handsome at the front. The 44, he is basically leading the charge right now over the 18 of Bobby Anderson. Paul Hill, that's going to be in that 4th place position. Going to be Neil Pearson, Matty Long, and Strong in the 97. He's in 5th. 6th belongs to the 93 of Tane, one of my favorite Hodisons. Eric Popino in 7th. 9th, Rodrigo Loga, and in 10th, Michael McCaffrey. But, to your point there, buddy, Sean Rogers is doing exactly what he needs to do right now. He's out in front. Right now, he's in that rhythm, right? He's in that mindset. He's hitting his mark, his breaking points. He's picking up the throttle when he needs to, and he's doing just enough to keep these other cars that are keeping these other cars at bay, trying to go ahead and capture this stage 1 win as they continue to fly by quick, fast, and in a hurry here from Richmond.
Absolutely. And, as we're watching Rodrigo Logo here.
I catch a Living La Vida Loga in there?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Once again, once again, sorry to cut you off. Once again, we want to thank everybody for joining us in the YouTube.com live chat. As Amanda Price has sent the clapping emoji over to us, and you know, yeah, you're used to hearing Dave Regal in the booth, but you know, Dave's taking a much needed vacation, if you will.
Yeah, Dave went Rick Ross style. He went Port of Myrtle Beach. I know it's really Port of Miami in the song by Rick Ross, but it's close enough. It's not that far away from each other.
No. I mean, what, about a 5.5 hour drive?
We'll go with that. If you're running the speed Sean Rogers is, of course.
Well, once we get to the end of stage 1, the 10th car in line will trip the caution lights. As right now, Sean Rogers is, well, he's starting to open up a little bit of half second gap, and there you see the eyeball test between Sean Rogers and the Candyman Bobby Anderson. And you know,
Well, I'll tell you. Go ahead, Alan.
the last time I gave a driver a nickname, they painted a truck.
Yeah, they painted a truck. That's right. Well, you know, it just goes to show you, even on these short tracks, just how important clean air is. I mean, you know, the 18 of Bobby Anderson, that car was literally untouchable. You know, Rogers was able to put a great couple laps together in, you know, able to best the 18 there. And now he's taken that 44 Beast Mode Performance Chevrolet to the point. And now look at this. He is driving away from these guys. And here comes Paul Hill knocking on the back door where Mama hides the cookies. He's turning it Waffle House style down to the bottom. And don't look down, but he's bringing Neil Pearson with him in the 58. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, what a dynamite battle. Here comes Paul Hill, going to get that second position. He's going to slide up in front of Bobby Anderson. Working lap 101. Oh boy, we're getting cranked up to crazy here. Paul Hill wrangling that second position. And you know, Matt, last night I had the pleasure of going to watch Twisters in theater. You know, speaking of severe weather, and I think they did a movie up good. They
come out pretty good.
I think they did a pretty good job on it. I will say this.
Now, if you have to compare the new Twisters to the OG from the 1996 release Twister, which one are you going with? The new one or the old one, or a combination of the both?
The OG one, but I'll be right back, Matt.
We'll be right back. All right, so Alan's going to take a personal leave of absence here. I don't know if that's a good decision by his part, leaving me up here to call this race. But we're going to keep it right here towards the front. Neil Pearson starting to stalk the M&M's machine as he's about 2 car lengths back off the biscuit of the 18's Trisket. Now, if you're just joining us, the 6 of Paul Hill was able to get by Bobby Anderson as well. So that's going to move Anderson into that, or slide him back to that 3rd place position. He was your pole sitter. Paul Hill back even with the board. He currently has that 6 Dark Horse Mustang in that 2nd place position. And Sean Rockin' Rogers and Amanda Hill on board. I hope I didn't screw her last name up there. If I did, I apologize. But anyways, it has been an all-out World War II-style trench warfare battle here since the drop of the green flag. As it's Sean Rogers currently in the lead, Paul Hill in 2nd, Bobby Anderson in 2nd in the 18 machine. Neil Pearson currently owns that 4th place position, while Matthew Long and Strong holds down that 5th place. Derek Heitman, here he comes back from that 21st place position. Folks, don't look now, but he is up to 6. Tane Hodison currently in that 7th place position. Rodrigo, Livin La Vida, Ricky Martin, Loga in 9th. Alan, thanks for the tip on that. We're going to roll with that the rest of the race. Loga, if you don't like it, you just got to get jiggy with it. That's all I'm saying.
That's absolutely right. Sean Rogers there.
I love
Though
it.
nonetheless in that 44 car.
Alan, I got to ask you a question.
Yes.
Are you living La Vida Loga right now?
Well, Sure, sure. I could be.
He said, sure, we're just going to go with it. Well, here's the thing. We know Dave Regal is, right?
Oh yeah, he's definitely living La Vida Loca. He is definitely living La Vida Loca. Right now, working lap 110 of the 400 that are scheduled to be run here. And Sean Rogers leading this thing. Right now, Sean Rogers, Paul Hill is your race leader. Bobby
All that
Anderson.
talk, I had to take a drink.
Yeah, no kidding.
Bobby Anderson there continues to claw and fight his way back towards the front there. You know, Alan, he was the leader for a while. He kind of slid back a couple positions, but that can be by design. Bobby Anderson, a very smart race car driver. He knows when to go and when to save, and, you know, it takes a lot of discipline, you know, but if you got to just let someone by, if they want that spot now, as a race car driver, you just got to let them go and say, hey, mentally, I'm going to see you, you know, 20, 30 laps later. And that could be very much the plan out of the Ford camp for the 18.
Yeah, and, you know, as Bobby Anderson runs P4 right now, Neil Pearson is running P3, and Paul Hill still running at second position. Rich Jett up 16 spots. We have a car into the wall, and it looks like Rodrigo Logo.
It's Livin' La Vida Loga.
Livin' La Vida Loga. Okay, we'll go with that.
You know the song I'm talking about, right?
The song that Ricky Martin made famous.
That's it. You got to put vibe in the ride. It's Livin' La Vida Loga.
Gotta do that. Oh goodness.
You okay?
I'm good.
Okay, just check.
Lap 117 in the books here.
Oh, Christ almighty.
As we are working lap 118.
Alan, sometimes you need to do that thing, buddy. Go ahead and do that thing. I'll hold the fort down, and you go take care of family, buddy.
Absolutely.
Paul Hill currently runs in that second place position. Bobby Anderson currently lurking behind the Silver Fox in the 58 of Neil Pearson. So we're currently now working lap 120 of the scheduled 400 here from Richmond. You know, folks at home, we've seen the start of this race start under the lights here in prime time. Now it's going to be cycling into that dusk hour. We're going to see that track temp drop, and it has. Currently, right now, out on the racetrack, it is 92 degrees. However, ambient air temperature holds steady at 81, winds out of the southeast at 12, and we're going to see, you know, another evolution here in the weather. Comers and goers, that's a big part of the equation here tonight. Who's going to have it set right when it comes down to the right time in prime time? And I'm talking about stage 3. But so far, as of right now, it has been just a masterpiece by Bobby Anderson, Paul Hill, Neil Pearson, and how about the 44 of Sean Rockin' Rogers?
Okay, breaking news. I don't have to leave.
Page is
Wait,
2:30,
what?
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
my mother-in-law has graciously volunteered to take my wife to the hospital for me. So
Oh my God, Alan, you are a miracle worker. Well, folks, if you're just joining in, Bobby Anderson takes that 18 M&M's Ford Dark Horse Mustang into his pits. You can see the right side, the left side going up on the jack. He's going to take off those Dr. Feel Bads, put on some Dr. Feel Goods. And the same going for the right side of that race car, Alan. See, now he's firing off down and away under green flag conditions.
yeah, and so as we're working lap 126, and well, I think the caution where there was no one crash, I think that was the stage. Shout out to my mother-in-law who's coming in clutch for us tonight.
Yeah, big time.
And Paul Hill running second position right now on lap 127. Here, you know, a second, almost 2 seconds back from Sean Rogers. And I want to thank everybody here in the YouTube.com live chat as, you know, Amanda Price still cheering on Sean Rogers. Derek Heitman up 18 position in that third spot right now. Oh boy, that 76 car. You know, Derek Heitman, Matt, is one of those guys that are usually there at the end of the race too. You know, he always finds himself up there at the end of the race. Right now, Sean Rogers continues to lead this piece. Derek Heitman still running third up to 18 spots, while Matt Long is in that fourth position. As you know, we're into the long stage, and like you said earlier, Matt, the sun's starting to set. As Elton John would say, "Don't let the sun come down on me." Sean Rogers continues to lead us. We got a whole hornet's nest right behind these two. Right now, Sean Rogers continues to lead with a 2.5 second lead over Paul Hill. Derek Heitman gets the second position away from Paul Hill in that 70. Oh, wow. Here comes Paul Hill trying to battle back, as now we're into some lap traffic here. Oh boy. Oh, hang on to her. Hang on to her. Timothy Cook being shown on pit road as he comes down for his services. Neil Pearson, the modern day Silver Fox. Richard Pruitt in that number 24 car, painted up like the Lowe's colors. You can get behind that. Derek Heitman in that number 76 car gets second position away from Paul Hill. Paul Hill trying to battle back, as now we're kind of in that part of the race where it's like, we're just kind of riding along, letting the wheels on the bus turn. Richard Pruitt up 25 spots there, running 6th position. Tane Hodgson in that number 93. He's up to down to 70s. He's lost 4 spots. So we're coming through the field just a little bit. Let's see here. Rich Jett in that number in a double natural. And then you got Eric Papineau in the number 17 car, along with Michael Caffrey running at your top 10, and he's under attack from Tanner Marty. They're in the number 29 car. And here, Chris Davis there, doing Chris Davis type things, as he's running just outside of that top 10. Michael Witt in that number 88 car just being patient. Neil Pearson Jr. going to head down pit road. Your modern day Silver Fox. Here comes Chad Sander in that 94 car. He's going to come on down pit road as the sun continues to set here in Richmond, Virginia. So far, we've been mean and green through 100. Well, I wouldn't say mean and green, but we're definitely putting in some laps here. As Sean Rogers starting to catch up to the next couple lap cars that he's going to go into work on. Rogers Heitman, Derek Heitman there in the number 76 car. That is a 2-second gap between first place Sean Rogers and second place Derek Heitman. As we want to thank everybody for making Sim Racing Media and the Stacy Strong Cup Series your entertainment destination here on this wonderful Sunday night. And Sean Rogers going to work on what appears to be the number 58 car of the modern day Silver Fox, Neil Pearson. And that's exactly who it is. Lap 146 is the lap that we're on right now. And these guys are just putting in work, making laps, trying to find our way. As we were just a little over, 56, 54 left in the stage. Lap 47. Lap 147. Wow. And this is how fast the laps will click off here at Richmond, Virginia. Richmond Raceway, if you will. as we're gonna go on board with Sean Rogers to see how he handles these lap cars. Driver out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Two weeks that the series has been off due to the Olympic break, and that was Tyler Sexton that he went around. They put a lap down there. Bobby Anderson, the Candyman, getting one of his laps back the hard way. As you can see that the racetrack right now is completely shaded. There was some sunlight, but it's completely shaded now. Ron Fitting coming down pit road to get services. Comes up. Now he's running fourth gear. So at the start of the run, he was running fourth gear. We got about 50 laps left. Oh, Sean Rogers is going to peel it off and come down pit road. And there we go. And Derek Heitman's going to assume the race lead. So this will be the first time in a while that Sean Rogers has not led this race. Derek Heitman's going to come down. And that's going to cycle Richard Pruitt to the lead. Tane Hodgson. Rich Jett right now is in a double natural. He's running fourth. Derek Heitman, and you see... Oh. There goes the 84 car, the black rifle car going by Rich Jett there in the double natural. As the sun goes down, the lights come on. While these guys are doing their pit stops, we are going to step aside and pay some bills here with Sim Racing Media. We'll be right back.
Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D Cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
There we go. Want to thank everybody once again. Sorry about the technical difficulty with my broadcast partner Matt Metler. He's experienced some technical difficulties on his end with the lightning strike earlier in the day, or earlier in the broadcast, which took him on the chin, and well, now he's probably under the gun with severe weather once again. Derek Heitman continues to run second. Sean Rogers running or third. Sean Rogers is running second right now. And Bobby Anderson, the Candyman, is under fire from Eric Papin, who's trying to get his lap back to hard way. And I imagine that, that Bobby Anderson would probably just let him go ahead and go, which, as you see there on your screen, he does. Working lap 168 of the 400 that are scheduled to be run here. Once we get to lap 200, that will be the halfway point of the race here. As here comes the 24 car of Richard Pruitt, going to get his lap back also pretty handily. Chad Sander would be the lucky dog at this point. We have 10 spots that are now let down. So 9 cars on the lead lap. As we come a little deeper into the field here. We're going to see what live timing thinks is the most happening thing on the racetrack. And there it is, Sean Rogers. Sean Rockin' Rogers has a whole host of lap cars right in front of him. Right now, Chad Sander, if the caution were to fly right now, Chad Sander would be your lucky dog. As Michael Witt would be right behind him, or Tanner Marty would be right behind Chad Sander in that number 29 car. Chris Claude went off the racetrack, it shows. Let's see what happened to Chris. Chris Claude gets a little... Okay. There he goes. Gets a little left to the right and mows the grass. We come back out into the live picture here. Sean Rogers continues to run second, 3 seconds behind Bobby Anderson, your race leader. Jordan Brackell is sending me the rock star emoji. I want to thank Jordan does great work. And Jordan, as we have a special guest there in the booth. Jordan, how's it going, bud?
Going great, man. I was just watching these guys kind of go door to door. You see the 29 get a little bit loose there and have to take evasive maneuvers around them. But doing great, doing wonderful here to finish off here and run the rest of this race.
Yeah, as we give a special shout out to my mother-in-law, who my wife has migraines, and when she gets her migraines, if she don't catch them in time, well, this one decided that it was going to go away and then come back around too. So my mother-in-law, shout out to her. She graciously said, "You know what? Go do what you do. I'm going to take your wife to the ER and go get this all settled out with her." And can't thank my mother-in-law enough, as they're going to give her tons of shout-outs here on the broadcast tonight. And we're just shy of halfway, Jordan. But you picked a great time to come in here tonight. And join me in the booth as Matt, there in Central Florida, is taking a beating from the Mother Nature. Look, I don't know what Matt's done to Mother Nature, but he needs to make it right.
Yeah, no, he definitely has Mother Nature against him for sure. She just doesn't like to let things go.
You're not wrong. So right now, as Bobby Anderson, the Candyman, is going to come down pit road, and that's going to turn the race lead back over to Sean Rogers. Sean Rocket Rogers in that number 44 car, Jordan. And, Derek Heitman is up 19 spots doing Derek Heitman things as we are nearing the end of stage 2. And getting to so ever closer to the halfway point. And, this is the testament to the teamwork here at Sim Racing Media. At a moment's notice, if something happens, we're all here for each other. And the shout out to, behind the scenes, as we put a backup plan into motion. Thankfully, we didn't have to use it, but nonetheless, there's definitely a backup plan into place. And like I said, fortunately, my mother-in-law stepped up huge, came through clutch, and here we are, still on the air.
Yes, sir. Gonna bring you the rest of the action here for the Stacy Strong Cup Series. And, you know, get to see these guys really start to work as they're getting close to the end of this stage here. Kind of interesting because I'm wondering if iRacing is going to bring in that same option that we have now in the IRL, where they can bring in that, you know, softer compound. And I'm wondering if they're going to try to mix that in here one day.
Well, I mean, they do for Indy cars, so if they do for Indy cars, I don't see why they wouldn't do it for the NASCAR Cup Series. But what I would like to see what I'd like to see them do is be able to create the stages, you know, and that could be really huge for iRacing going forward. And, you know, I don't know about you, but as we alluded to at the top of the show, some breaking news coming out of the NASCAR world this week with Major League Baseball. And if you're a huge Cincinnati Reds fan or a huge Braves fan, it's like Christmas time for you, as those two teams on August 2nd will square off on the infield at Bristol Motor Speedway in the Speedway Clash. And I mean, look, we made hockey work on an outdoor arena, you know, at a baseball stadium. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's definitely exciting to see how they're going to make that work as it gets closer, just because it's going to be different. It's going to be interesting to see if maybe they try to add any seating a little bit closer, or what the necessary idea is there.
So the early renderings is the baseball field's going to be pointed towards turns 1 and 2 will be your outfield. And then your seating, like where your green seats are, here at St. Louis we call them green seats, but your upper echelon seating will be lining there. Now that we're doing baseball at Bristol Motor Speedway, don't be surprised if Nashville and maybe the Carolina Predators play at the Winter Classic at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting what the calls are going to be there. It's going to be crazy to honestly, figure out just exactly like how it's going to work, and, you know, are people going to be allowed on the track, or, you know, is that going to be like a standing room, in my opinion, like, I don't know how to call it, just like right there on pit road, is that going to be like a standing room or something of that nature? So I'm very interested to see what they come up with.
Well, it's cool to see, you know, Marcus Smith obviously runs Bristol Motor Speedway. He's heading the National Fairgrounds project. It's cool to see these guys reach out to MLB and say, hey, let's do something no one's ever done before. We've done football there at Bristol Motor Speedway. Let's do baseball. Let's do the World of Outlaws. Let's do dirt racing, right? I'm waiting. Look, the only two sports that are absolutely left that are mainstream outside of tennis and golf, which I would hate to see 18 holes being played at Bristol Motor Speedway. The NHL is up next.
Yeah, I mean, NHL's been doing the stadiums for a while now, so, you know, I got to see the Flyers out there one time mixing it up with the New Jersey Devils. So, it's a great game to be. I don't know what makes it so different, especially for hockey, because normally hockey's always inside an arena. So that one, I think, has its own different kind of excitement. But to be in a NASCAR stadium, I mean, it's cool and odd at the same time.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, could you imagine the buzz around Bristol that it's going to create when the Atlanta Braves come into town and the Cincinnati Reds come into town, and, you know, just the atmosphere. You know, I'm not a Braves fan by any means.
Braves. Don't ever say the Braves to me ever again.
And nor am I a Cincinnati Reds fan. I'm a Cardinals fan, but I mean, it's going to be a once in a lifetime. It's going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity, and, well, it's going to be one that I would love to take in. Now, how expensive that gets, oh, that's to be seen. Right now, Sean Rogers leads just a half second over Derek Heitman here in that 76 car. There you see the eyeball test. And Amanda Price is always cheering on Sean Rogers. And, earlier, Jordan, we got the pleasure of having Dave Regal do his thing on Sunday nights, and that's Bring Us the Green. And it's been all Sean Rogers and Bobby Anderson from there. Right now, we're about 6 laps away from stage 2. And Sean Rogers has control of this field.
Yeah, and the 76 is trying to get there, but not really able to close that gap from that 3/10 of a deficit there. He's able to maintain, but not really able to track him down and make any kind of move to try to make a pass around him.
Yeah, right now we've only had 4 cautions, so it's not the caution. I don't want to say caution fest. That's not what that was in spring. But these guys have really gotten their act straight here in the summer race. And that's the thing is once you hit to midway in the season, it's like they call it the spring race and then the fall race. What about the summer months? And right now, Sean Rogers has been on a tear lately. He's already in the playoffs. Now he's going to go padding that points lead just a little bit more, as we are 3 laps away from the end of stage 2 and 3 laps away.
There now, going into turn 1.
Yeah, here comes Derek Hyman trying to make that move, and
Heitman and Sean Rogers going to drag race down the backstretch, going to go into the corner even. 76 drifts up just a touch. They may have touched doors there. Definitely touched doors that time around.
I touched door? All right. 2 laps to go here in the stage. Who's going to get stage 2? Will it be Sean Rogers or will it be Derek Heitman?
Heitman using every bit of the track there too, trying to get as close as possible. Gets ever so close. I'm surprised they didn't doors him this time. Going to spin himself off the back end of him.
Oh, no.
Barrels.
Oh, battling for the lead, Derek Heitman. We're going to stay green. And, barring any motor damage, that might end Heitman's night.
I think that car is dead and done for. And it looks like he just went ahead and went right to pit road. Nope, he's still sitting there.
He's still sitting there. I think he's trying to get it fired to avoid the tow. There he goes. He's going to
jump to the pits.
He's going to take it. Lap 200, and I believe the 10th car in line will trigger the caution. As right now, that's going to make Sean Rogers your leader. And, that's the kind of mistakes that these guys cannot afford. As we're working lap 201 here on the racetrack. And I believe the 10th car in line should trip the caution.
Yeah, I mean, Rogers here having all but 4 cars a lap down. Gonna get almost an extra lap here before that 10th car even crosses for that 200th lap, I guess.
Well, okay. We're still going green. We're still being green. I like green flag racing. Right now, Sean Rogers continues to lead. He's just running. Look, Sean Rogers is doing his thing. Paul Hill is out 5 seconds back. And it's kind of crazy that only the top 5 are on the lead lap so far.
Yeah, he's certainly running away with this one right now.
Amanda Price is just, oh, goodness. Amanda Price, look, if you're a Sean Rogers fan, there is no one bigger Sean Rogers fan than Amanda Price. I'm not even that big of a Sean Rogers fan. I love Sean Rogers. I love the great things he's doing in the series, but Amanda Price is always in here rooting on Sean Rogers. And there he is.
He's certainly putting it down.
I mean, if there's ever a masterclass on how to get around Richmond, Sean Rockin' Rogers is putting it on. right now, your winner to the race of the beer stand is definitely Cody McCorkle. He's ran 26 laps. And so far, we have, about 4 or 5 cars out of the race here. So we're working lap 206 of the 400 that are, just shy, just beyond the halfway point of the 400 laps that are scheduled to be run here. I want to thank everybody for making Sim Racing Media and the SNN Stacy Strong Cup Series your entertainment destination here on Sunday evening. Also want to thank Jordan for jumping in here for the last bit of the race here. As I don't know what just happened. There we go. My bad.
Yeah, absolutely, though. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always great to be here with these different leagues that we are a part of, and it's always a ton of fun.
As Sean Rogers continues to lead. Here on lap 208 in the books. My hand bumped a hotkey. Okay. You got fat hands. Weird things happen.
Yeah, you got to keep your keep them fingers away from them hotkeys there.
Hey, look. If we were to do a hand check right now, this is what you would see. That's the things that happen on live television, right?
Oh, 100%.
Tell me that NASCAR and Fox has never messed up before.
They're the king of messing up.
You're not wrong. Nonetheless, right now it's lap 210, and Sean Rogers continues to lead 5 seconds over Paul Hill in that number 6 car. The lead that Sean Rogers has put over Paul Hill is absolutely insane.
Yeah, absolutely, just dominating here. And I mean, he's looking at catching some of these other guys here, like Bobby Anderson just crossed the line for 210 as Sean Rogers comes across to finish lap. Or Anderson finished 209. Sean Rogers just finished 210.
Well, right now, as Dave Regal says, we're in the witching hour as we look up the weather one more time. As it is now 80 degrees, and that track temperature staying around that 90-degree mark under the partly cloudy sky. And, Jordan, as I always say, that's a Chamber of Commerce weather type of day. As we're working lap 213 right now, 213 in the books, and Sean Rogers doing Sean Rogers things. Let's see what live timing is going to deem as the most happening thing going on the racetrack. There it goes. As right now, Neil Pearson, the modern day Silver Fox, he is, let's put it this way. He's about 16 seconds back from Sean Rogers. Now, what these guys want, what Sean Rogers doesn't want, and that's a caution.
Yeah, each and every one of these guys here are going to be praying for a caution just so they can get back on the lead lap and maybe make a fight for some of this.
Well, I think some of these guys are going to put a 20 in the plate just to get a caution.
Certainly, they're going to do some kind of anything just to get a chance to get back on the lead lap. I know a lot of these guys would like for it to happen, after some kind of pit stops, so that they're on fresh stuff and they can try to get that lap back. It can take the wave around, but if a caution were to fall, towards the end of a run, you're gonna have no choice but to hit there, or stay out and pray that another caution comes out so that you can then come back down and get your service.
Right now, we got 6 cars on the lead lap, and look, for most of the stage 2, it's been all Sean Rogers all day long. And Bobby Anderson is all the way back here in the 5th position, doing Bobby Anderson things. Now, as we approach the end of the stage, we're on old tires now. We're on old tires. We're not on fresh tires. You know, Sean Rogers has definitely got to, pick his battles, if you will, and not be too hard on the gas, not be too hard on the brakes.
I mean, for his sake, he's just on cruise control right now.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. And look, I don't like using absolutely, but, he's right now, that's the constant in Sean Rogers' race right here, the fact that he's on cruise control. And, if you watch him right here, he gets ready to go split the 80 car and the 24 car of, well, if you would think that anyway. There he goes. He's going to take these two drivers through wide. And he's doing this like a surgeon. He's like a surgeon.
Yeah, he's
methodically putting cars down.
He's methodically making his moves and passing these cars as cleanly as possible, and just trying to keep his nose clean.
As right now, Richard Pruitt in the 24 car comes down pit road to get services done to him, to his car, and you're already laps down. It's really easy to get behind on a short track, and then it's really difficult to get caught back up. I mean, you can do it, but if you're back there 16th position, multiple laps down, you're going to have not such an easy time getting caught back up on the lead lap, if you can even make something like that happen.
Yeah, and all he needs to do is hope and pray that this thing stays the way it is for the next 178 laps.
There ain't no room for that yawning stuff going on in this league.
Caught me by surprise there for a second. Sometimes I've found out that if I talk too fast, my brain tells me to slow down by yawning.
This is your brain telling you, hey, put the brakes on, buddy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just I'm talking too fast. I don't take enough of a breath, and it causes me to have that mental reset, and it's like, bro, take a breath.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, look. Sean Rogers still putting drivers down, putting them away. 5.5 second lead over Paul Hill in that number 6 car. And now the sun continues to go down. Look. As we stated earlier there's a real race in Richmond going on right now. And if I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know you would, I believe Richmond is kind of a home track for you. Ish.
It's yes and no. I am a lot closer to Dover, believe it or not. But yes, Richmond is the next closest track that the Cup Series goes to. So yeah, it's kind of a long distance home.
Now, have you ever watched a race at Dover?
Since 2004.
Nice.
I've been to Dover since 2004, and I used to go to Richmond every often, and I have year-round tickets to the last race of Martinsville.
That would be a fun track to go to.
Martinsville is without a doubt my favorite track. It is on the NASCAR schedule, and honestly, in person, it's 10 times better.
The old famous paperclip. Well, so as we watch the sun go down, next week we go from a short track to a 2-mile T-shaped oval in the rolling hills of the Irish Hills of Michigan. Wow, my geography is way off. Hey, look, I'm gonna go back to school for geography.
And honestly, with this new package that this car here, at least on iRacing, I've noticed that a lot of the 2-car tandems and the small little packs that you usually see at Michigan have kind of gone away. It's one of those things where if the front lead car has enough grip to send it through the corners on a consistent basis, that lead car is able to pull away and actually kind of make himself a little bit of a gap, as I saw last night in one of our leagues. the leader was able to put a gap of about a second and a half on the pack. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it runs tomorrow, because I believe it was on Legacy Michigan. I don't know if there is. I think it's just Michigan, right? The Legacy Michigan.
There's a new Michigan and there's a Legacy Michigan.
That's what I was wondering. I think maybe it could have been something with Legacy Michigan that allowed these cars to do that. But it will be interesting to see how these cars react to the new Michigan versus what I was seeing in the old Michigan.
Okay, yeah. I like that. Right now, as we are under a fourth caution, and I believe that is the stage. With that being said, Sean Rogers will pick up the stage win here, as we are going to get these guys lined back up here, and we're going to do it all over again. So with that being said, we are going to go talk to our Stage 2 winner. And that is Sean Rogers from the CSS stable. Make sure he's not coming down pit road, which he is. We'll wait for him to come down pit road. And he's going to come out, so we will go ahead and talk to Sean Rogers. Sean Rogers, is Alan and Jordan in the SRM booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, look, so first of all, congratulations on picking up, I believe it was 2 for 2 on stages tonight.
Yep.
So, win stage 1, win stage 2. What's the track feel like out there as you come around to pick up the pace car one more time?
It's getting really slick. I was really loose there towards the tail end of that that last run there. I was not expecting to go caution free, just the nature of short track. So that was a pleasant surprise. But yeah, it's getting a little slick. I've been making some adjustments, hopefully to tighten it up a little bit here, here in this closing stage.
Yeah. So as we get ready to get lined up and go to the end of this race, you know, as the lap cars make their pit stops. So, you know, you're gonna get lined up. Are you gonna shoot the edge? What's been the dominant line on these restarts? Has it been the outside or the inside, or how do you pick that line that you're gonna restart in?
I'll be starting on the outside, just so I can get a good kind of angle going into one. But the dominant line around the track is obviously hugging the bottom. It gets, you know, really loose, like right about here if you're on me, right coming out of 2. So you just got to be careful with that. Yeah, but this Beast Mode Chevy's been fast all night. Definitely good on long run. So hopefully I can let's go for 3 for 3 on stages, because that's the one that matters.
Hey, look, before we get you out of here, I just want to let you know that Amanda Price has been cheering you on to victory. You know, and she's been very vocal in the YouTube.com live chat, and we do appreciate Amanda for chiming in here and rooting you on. But we're gonna go ahead and get you back to your teammates before we get lined up to go green here.
All right, sounds good. Shout out to Amanda. Thanks for cheering me on.
All right, and that is Sean Rogers out of the CSS stable. And as we get ready to come back to green flag, we're going to do something a little crazy here as we get lined up here. The iRacing.com pace car lights are out. And we're going to go on board with Sean Rogers for the restart. Lap 237 to start stage 3. And we are green flag and racing. As we are on board with Paul Hill and at number 6, Dent Slayer number 6 from Jacksonville, Florida. And we are starting stage 3 right now. Oh boy, these guys are getting cranked up to crazy. Right now, Bobby Anderson, and we got car registered as crashed. It's showing Chris Custer has crashed. Let's see what happened there. And around he, well, and he's gonna save it, and takes the Tide Ride for a spin cycle. So you come
it's
back.
It's a fitting sponsor to have to go for a spin cycle.
Hey, look. Sean Rogers hits the fastest lap of the race so far with a 22.45. You're not wrong. Spin cycle. Look, I mean, if you're going to do a sponsor right, you might as well do that one, right? As the sun continues to go down on this racetrack, the intensity is going to get heated up here.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly can't be more heated than what just happened in the IRL race. Let me tell you that. I don't know if you're going to go back and watch it, but be prepared.
So, you mentioned this. You mentioned that as a young child, my uncle always recorded the race so you could go back and watch it because he didn't like all the commercials. He's like, oh, I don't want to watch the commercials. So as a young child, I would be so excited about who won the race. I would tell him, like, oh, this person won, this person won. And he'd be like, thanks, you just spoiled it.
No, and I know not to say anything simply because my father does the same thing, but for different reasons. My dad is currently asleep at since probably about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to drive a tractor trailer. So believe me, not spoiling things has been a part of my life's journey.
Yeah, and, it's so my dad was the polar opposite. He would fall asleep on the couch. He'd turn the race on, fall asleep on the couch. And then if you turn the channel, he would know. Turn that back. Why? I'm watching that. You're sleeping. You're snoring over there, dude.
And I feel like that's just a NASCAR parent thing. If you had a NASCAR parent growing up, that's what would happen. I would take it to play some kind of sport or some kind of video game just because I was like, oh, he's asleep. Like, I'll play my game now because consoles in the bedroom for me wasn't a thing until I got an Xbox 360. So you can imagine that I was playing the PS2 and stuff like that in the living room. So I saw an opportunity to play. But as soon as I switched it to that input, he was like, "Oh, whoa! I'm watching that, bud."
You're like, no, dude, you're snoring. Well, I'll watch. Who's winning? The guy in front. Well, the guy in front could be laps down. Look, consoles in my house, growing up, consoles did not last a week in the living room. Because my dad would get sick of looking at it. He'd take that thing back to your bedroom. I got lucky there. Because we're working lap 249. Look, it's been Sean Rogers out to two-tenths of a second lead over Paul Hill, and there it is. There's your eyeball test. As the lights are starting to come on. Working our way to the last stage of this race. Lap 250 of 400. Almost at 240. Wow. Whew. Look, it's been a long week.
And that, I mean, it certainly has been. I mean, we finally got NASCAR back, though. That's the great thing. Is it was a long 2 weeks for me not being able to watch the IRL stuff, and you know, you gotta jump in here and watch these league races, which put on, in my opinion, a lot better racing most of the time than the IRL guys. So, you know, thankfully we have this to keep us company and keep us occupied. But man, what a long 2 weeks that was.
Well, look, for a lot of the drivers in this series alone, I mean, what do you do for 2 weeks when you're off and you're just chomping at the bit to get back in the car? I mean, because that 2 weeks, I mean, we're running official races. I mean, yes, there might be other leagues you can run. There might even be, you know, this, that, or the other. But, you know, it's, to me, it's like, okay, what do you do for 2 weeks, right? Like our good buddy Dave Regal, you know, jumped on a couple of broadcasts with me in the Race of Elite series, which I'm the voice of. And in the truck series, you know, he does, you know, the Thursday nights over there. You know, and then, so to be able to come back, and now Dave Regal is on assignment, you know, this week, and, well, hey, look, he gets to do things that I don't get to do because of, so I get sunburned very easily, right? So I tend to stay away from the old water parks, as I got a swimming pool in my backyard. But you know, if I have to wear a t-shirt when I go swimming, which does not allow me to be in a public pool. Like, have you ever seen the movie Powder?
Nah, I feel like you're showing your age there, pal.
I did tell my 17-year-old I was going to show him Wayne's World. That was before your time. It's okay. That was long before. Like, even today, that movie holds water. And Jordan, I think I'm going to give you that as a homework assignment. You have to go watch Wayne's World. It's a classic, and it's based off the sketch.
Stairway.
No Stairway to Heaven. And you know, and it's based off the Saturday Night Live sketch with Mike Myers and Dana Carvey, who are comedic geniuses. I mean, of their time. And even in 2024, that movie still holds water. And I was talking to my wife about the old movies back in the 80s, and I feel like the 1980s was a prime for good movies, you know. And you know, last night, and I want to thank you for covering for me on Elite Cup Racing. You know, as I'm sure you had a blast doing that with Mr. Matt Moniak and company, and you know. I say that because last night, while you were having fun with that, I was watching Twisters. And, you know, Matt Metler's like, oops, so which is better, the 96 version or the 2024 version? And I'm like, well, so they both referenced each other. You know, it's not really a sequel, it's kind of its own movie, but it kind of, you know, hey, this is what... It's one of those movies that, you know, for the time that it's, for this time and this generation, it's going to hold water for years to come. As right now, Sean Rogers is coming down pit road. Or he was down pit road. I don't know why it's showing him in the pits, but he's not in the pits. He's leading by, you know, a half a second. Gotta love modern technology sometimes.
Absolutely. You know, I was watching Days of Thunder last night. I haven't seen that movie in quite a while.
Okay, that movie is older than you.
Oh, well, just about every movie is older than... Every movie that I love is either the same age or older than me. I mean, being born in 1996, we don't even have a general, like, if we're Gen Z, Millennial, Gen X, Gen Ed, you know, we're looped into all of them. So We were too, at that late 90s, we were too young to be, what was it? Was it Gen X was up until, no, Millennial was the 90s, I believe.
Yes.
So we're too young to be a millennial, or too young to be a millennial, but we're too old to be Gen Z. So we're kind of just there.
You're
Because
in the
I
melting
certainly do remember things of the late 80s, early 90s, and having those things. But I also have everything that happened in the early 2000s that I remember like it was yesterday. So like that 95, 96, 97, we got hit with both sides of technology.
Look, I was on the back side of cassettes. You were on the front side of the internet.
Now, see, my first vehicle had a cassette player.
See, so you know what the struggle is like when you're driving down the road and you got the Walkman attached to your dash, and you hit the bump just right and it skips the CD.
Well, see, that for me, this CD and the CD player was going through middle school, having the CD player on the bus seat. But then I got I wasn't cool enough to have the iPod Nanos, but I had the random named MP3 player that I had to download all the songs from the CDs I burned and find the art, match the art to the song and change all the song titles to the right thing. And so I had those struggles of the early 2000s, late 90s. But I also had, when I got my first iPod, it was like, oh, this is so convenient.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and so your generation, Jordan, will never know the struggle of waiting patiently for the DJ to put the one song that you want on the radio to be on the radio, so you can hit record. And if you miss it by just a little bit, you copy it over the tape and you start it over.
Well, that's how I got my ringtones.
Only because we were too cheap to buy them.
Oh, 100%. I was way too cheap to buy them. And I couldn't even tell you what my first ringtone was. That's how memorable it is.
Oh, gosh. I hope it wasn't FLL Summer Girls.
No, it was actually Cold by Crossfade.
Okay. We'll let you have that one. Oh, boy. Right now, Sean Rogers continues to lead over Paul Hill by almost 1 second. And that's the eyeball test. As the lights have started to come on here in Richmond, Virginia. But what we're going to do, Jordan, we're going to go ahead and step aside and go side by side. You won't miss any action here on the Stacy Strong Cup Series. And we'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the
Want to welcome everybody back here to Richmond, Virginia. As you're watching the Stacy Strong SNN Cup Series. And we're working lap 280 as Sean Rogers continues to lead the field over 1 3/10 of a second over Paul Hill and that number 6 car. And, you know, Jordan, this has been probably the cleanest race that we've seen on a short track. As, you know, here in iRacing, you have those races that you think are going to be just absolutely disastrous. And then you have those races that you think are going to be disastrous that turn out to be, you know, barn burners. And this one here has been no exception. As, you know, Sean Rogers has led most of this race, you know, and Bobby Anderson, the Candyman, Bobby Anderson, is back there in that 4th position, down 3 positions after starting on the pole.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be a tough uphill battle for all of these guys to even just match the pace that Sean Rogers is setting. I mean, Matt Long had a similar time. That time back, and Anderson and Pearson also had faster times, but, you know, Sean Rogers is able to build such a gap that it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, and, you know, look, you know, that's just a testament to this racing league, as it looks like a car got out of shape, and I believe that was, I don't know who that was, but no harm, no foul. Working lap 284, you know, before we went to break, we're talking about the generational gap and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, for myself, being able to have that...
Whoa, hello. Looks like Bobby Anderson got just a little bit out of shape. No
yeah,
harm.
certainly. Definitely falls a little bit there.
I want to thank everybody for joining us here in the YouTube.com live chat. And, you know, Jordan, I want to thank you and the rest of the YouTube Nation out there for making the Stacy Strong Cup Series and SNN your entertainment destination here tonight, as we're once again working lap 286 of the 400 that are scheduled to be run here tonight. And, you know, also want to give a shout out to my mother-in-law, who earlier in the race my wife had a migraine, and she had one earlier in the day. She caught it, she slept it off. It subsided, and then, well, came back for round number 2. She's currently sitting at a system St. Clair in wonderful Fenton, Missouri. So after we go check her here, we do the interviews, and we go over the points. I will be jetting out to go keep her company.
Yeah, and we certainly hope that everything's okay there. I can tell you, a migraine is one of those things that makes you want to make your head hurt more. It's almost as if the pain of your actual outside head actually makes the internal feel better.
Hey, I mean, at that point, I've never had them, but I have passed a kidney stone. So I imagine it's along the same lines of that, which is not pleasant for anybody involved. And, you know...
And yes, honestly, that's one of the things that I've been able to knock on wood. I want everybody to make sure they hear me knocking on this wood. That I haven't had one of those, and I pray not to ever have one.
I've passed a couple of them, and they are not fun in the least bit. They will bring you to your knees. Kind of like this lead over Paul Hill that Sean Rogers has got. It's bringing Paul Hill to his knees. As Paul Hill looks to be on the ropes here. Lap number 290, as we got about 110 left to go here in the race. And, I mean, we've only been going for, you know, we've only been racing for 2 hours and 1 minute now. Of course, I haven't played the pre-commercial either, but hey. Played it once. And that'll usually make the caution come out. Look, it always happens. But I mean, Jordan, you did miss a treat earlier, as Dave Regal did bring us to green, on location, so that was fun.
Yeah, and I mean, this league in general, I've been on it a couple times. This league in general always has amazing action no matter what's going on the track. I mean, even with Sean Rogers still leading these guys by a large margin, only 6 cars total on the lead lap. These guys are still racing for every position as hard as they can.
Yeah, and then so we're going back here in the field just a little bit. That's to 8th position. As the Candyman, Bobby Anderson enters the pit road, and that's going to put him a lap down, essentially. Matt Whittlesey says that 97 car is a sexy-looking car.
And that's the 97 of Matt Long.
Yep, that's Matt Long. Let's go on board and see.
That is a pretty fire paint scheme there.
I mean, Ignite. Hey, I like that. I like what you did there. Ignite wireless, fire paint scheme.
You got to slide those in there every now and again and get them working so that you can have those kind of secret little I don't even know what to say, secret little things to say, or some way of shape or form of saying something that goes along with the sponsor.
And we have got a caution. Bobby Anderson. Oh no, let's see what happened to Bobby. Oh, Bobby. Hey, Tate Hodgson gets into him. Here comes Michael Caffrey, and the M&M's pieces, well, they just turned into Reese's pieces there.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just one of those things. He's on fresher tires. He's going, trying to get around some traffic there, and ultimately just misjudges it.
Well, that's going to bring the whole field down as we're under caution number 5 on the night, and this would be number 3 for cause, as we had 2 stage breaks in there. So right now we're going to probably see wholesale pit stops, and at least for the top 5 who aren't a lap down, and then the rest will come in the second time around. As Sean Rogers enters his pit stall, Chris Davis is going to go ahead and go back on around, and that's going to put a lot of drivers back on the lead lap, at least the top 10. As my broadcast partner now has me yawning as we get set for the last 100 laps. And, this caution could have came out at a more perfect time, because now we got a 100 lap sprint to the end. And this is where it's going to get good. As Sean Rogers is going to come out of pits first over Paul Hill, and then you'll see the rest of the cars come in. So we're going to let's see, where's the owner? Where's the owner? Where's he located at? Chris Claude. He is getting pit services done. We're going to talk to Chris. So look, Chris Claude is the biggest Atlanta Braves fan ever. If he comes down, we're gonna dial him up. Out of the Joe Gibbs Racing stable, Chris Claude is Alan Bergen and Jordan Brookhell in the booth. You got a copy?
Hi, Alan.
Hey, Chris. Hey, look, man. So I was telling Jordan here about the breaking news that came out of the NASCAR world this week about your beloved Braves playing the Cincinnati Reds at Bristol Motor Speedway next season.
Yes.
What's your take on that? And is it like Christmas time for you right now?
It honestly is. I know years ago the Vols played the University of Tennessee played a game against Virginia Tech or somebody at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and that was a pretty cool event to be able to I wasn't there, unfortunately, but did see it on TV, and I'm sure it'll be the same type of event for baseball. It'll be something unique, and definitely be watching.
And And as an Atlanta Braves fan, and I know we're talking about baseball at a race, but I can imagine you're going to be first in line to buy tickets to this.
Well, first, I don't know. I had to find out when it is and what all is going on.
August 2nd.
Day it's August 2nd, which is what day of the week?
I believe it's going to be a Saturday.
Yeah, there's a possibility that actually would work. It wouldn't conflict with anything that I'm aware of. It's before Titans preseason, and yeah, that might be something I might look into.
I just confirmed it August 2nd.
Yeah, Well,
Yeah.
then I'll have to be on the lookout for that then.
Well, as we get lined up back to green, Pacer's coming off, so we're going to get you back to racing, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks, Al.
Yep. And that was Chris Claude out of the Joe Gibbs Racing Stable from Fairview, Tennessee, and we're back to Green Flag Racing. Jordan, and you'll find no bigger Braves fan than Chris Claude. As Sean Rogers continues to lead us by 3/10 of a second. Neil Pearson Jr. Neil Pearson, the modern day Silver Fox, is riding back there in third. And this, that green flag is what Sean Rogers didn't want to see, because that lead evaporated quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still if he falls all the way back to the last car only lap, I mean, he's still sitting 8th, so it's not going to be that much of a difficulty for him, as he sets the fastest time of the race that time by at a 22:40.
And that's what fresh tires do. Fresh tires will do that for you. And we got some big things happening here at Sim Racing Media, as I am going to, for the first time ever, I wouldn't say for the first time ever, I'm sure it's been done before with Sim Racing Media, we're going dirt racing on Wednesday night, as yours truly will be at the world famous Highland Speedway, covering the World of Outlaw Case Construction late models for Sim Racing Media. So be on the lookout. We watch the YouTube pages. We will be providing live updates as that race happens. And Jordan, I don't know if you've ever been to a Case Construction World of Outlaw late model event, but it is going to be a blast.
No, I mean, I haven't been to the World of Outlaw version. Obviously, used to go to Lincoln Speedway all the time and see wing sprints and typically 360s there. And then, big block modifieds and, some other kinds of late models. Even street stocks. So definitely a dirt guy. It's just harder to catch, obviously, with needing a hefty subscription to Flow. So I mean, but dirt is where I started with a lot of my racing stuff. Rally racing and such nature such as that.
Well, look, for the low price of $39 a month, you can have a subscription to Flow Racing.
Look, I don't make that kind of money.
Get with me after the broadcast. I'll show you some things. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Sean Rogers is up almost a half a second on Paul Hill in that number 6 car. Neil Pearson, the modern day Silver Fox. And I mean, these three guys are, get a blanket and put it over these three guys, because these guys are making some moves out there, as we're a little over 90 laps to go here in this one from Richmond, Virginia. And right now, it's a race for the end right now. Hopefully it doesn't end the way that the real life NASCAR race ended. But, we can't control what we can't control, right?
Certainly, if it ends like the real race, I don't think some people would be in this league very long.
Sure.
I'm guessing during the break you had, may have taken a look at that.
Well, yes and no. I've taken a look at at some media outlets, but nonetheless, if you're a huge dirt fan, make sure you get out to the Gateway Dirt Nationals in December for Dirt in December at the America Center and at the Dome in America Center here in St. Louis. And that is a show, Jordan, that has a lot of NASCAR flavor. To show up to that. Carson Hocevar gets in the dirt late model that night, for that show. And as he last year, when I get you on the flow racing, you'll have to go and watch that one back. I won't tell you any spoilers. Also, definitely Dirt Vision is also to go. Look, I pay $80 a month in streaming services.
Holy cow. I mean, then again, I pay for just my cable and my internet bill, and that doesn't meet that at all. So
Dirt Vision covers everything from UMP Dirt Car Racing to Super Dirt Car Series, Big Block Modifieds, to the World of Outlaws and the UMP Dirt Car Summer Nationals. Slow racing.
The only reason I got Flow is because the only thing that I would use Flow for is the late model stock car series. I have various experiences in working on late model stock cars, mainly being a tire guy for a guy named Colby Stottlemyre, as well as doing some various crew stuff for a guy down in Virginia as well, Mason Bailey, and then was working with Connor Waddell, the previous Legends champion. That kid's definitely going to be one to watch at like 14 years old. I mean, he's a phenomenal racer. Already won in his late model limited series. He's got to run the late model limited for a year, I believe, before being able to jump into a full size or a full spec late model car. And I mean, that kid, you talk to him, and at 14 years old, I mean, he gives an interview like he's been stock car racing for 30 years.
Isn't that amazing? So I say that, I bring this up to the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Check this out, Jordan. Super Dirt Late Model Series, Dirt Late Model registration for the Gateway Dirt Nationals here in St. Louis, Missouri, sold out in just 15 minutes.
That's insane. I mean, didn't match Taylor Swift, but
I mean, so when Stan Kroenke packed up the Rams, said, you know what, we're taking these guys out to L.A. Cody Summers texts, like some years later, Cody Summers texts Eric Rigsby, the owner of Flow Racing, a picture of the dome, right? Text Eric Rigsby a picture of the dome. And the next thing you know, the Gateway Dirt Nationals are born. Some 4 years later, now the contract ends this year for that race. And, I would first of all, as a maintenance technician, I would hate that race because, one, of all the filter changes you got to do throughout the event.
yeah, I can only imagine.
The last race that was ran indoors. Whoa,
big check up there. Caution out on the racetrack.
And that would be the 80 car of Johnston. Let's see what's going to register here. Let's go to the yellow flag. Yeah, there it is, the 80 car, and he's going to lock him up. Collect the 6th car. Ooh.
Yeah, it looks like the 6th there of Paul Hill got loose. And then, Mark Johnston had nowhere to go and just ultimately ends up rearing him.
Yikes. So we come out to the live picture once again. Lap 324 in the books of the 400 that's going to, of the scheduled 400 that's going to be ran. I don't think that Paul Hill took too much damage. Great opportunity for you guys to come down pit road and and get their services done, put fresh tires on. As these guys are used to running all those laps on old tires. Here comes the parade off of pit road. And that's going to turn the race lead over to Michael Gaffrey out of Perth, Australia. We got some Aussie flavor in the field tonight as Michael Gaffrey is one of two drivers from Australia, Neil Pearson being the other one. So the battle of the Aussies, and the last time we had an Aussie in the NASCAR series was Marcos Ambrose. And but anyways, back to the Gateway International. So Stan Kroenke takes the Rams, moves down to St. Louis. Next thing you know, we have the Gateway Internationals. And as a maintenance, so the last indoor race next to the Gateway Internationals was ran way back in 1982 with stock cars, and that was at the Pontiac Silverdome. In Detroit. And Jordan, I tell you what, if you get the chance to make it out here, I know you and Dave Regal are the only people at Sim Racing Media that I'm the only thing in St. Louis that you both can tolerate. And I use that term loosely. Tolerate.
Well, certainly I can't tolerate you, so I mean that just says there.
Yeah.
I'm just a playing buddy.
Right.
No, I certainly enjoy being here on this broadcast, watching this wonderful racing here at the Sunday Night NASCAR Series, the Stacy Strong Cup Series, and it's a ton of fun to be able to work with such a wonderful team here.
Absolutely. As we get doubled up back behind the iRacing.com pace car. and as we get the wave arounds going here, I suspect that this should go by fairly quickly as we're working lap 327 of the 400 here. We're almost to the end of this one. And only 6 cautions. I mean, that's pretty clean for a short track.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, especially with 2 of the 6 cautions being stage ends. That's insane, because, I mean, usually you see a lot more bumping and running and dumping.
Well, you say that, and here comes the iRacing.com pace car dumping the field off, and we are green flag racing here on lap 328.
Oh, as the 58 goes for a slide, gonna keep his nose off of that inside wall, but that's certainly not how he wanted this race to restart. He's gonna find himself tail end of the wall, and he's not yet tail end of the lead lap here per scoring.
Well, as he takes off,
but he's gonna get away, but I mean he's gonna have a huge deficit to try to make up.
Let's see what happened to Neil Pearson as he takes off and gets under speed again. And it looks like the cold tire bug is probably going to end up biting him here. As we go left.
It certainly does.
Wisely locks him up. And no harm, no foul, no damage. The only damage that's going to be hurt is his pride. We have 70 laps to go here in this one from Richmond, Virginia. And, well, we're back to 8 cars being on the lead lap. So, I mean, as long as Sean Rogers doesn't pass him, we can finish no worse than 8. One thing I gotta know, Jordan, is Sean Rogers like qualifying right now? Because he just said
just ran a 22:32 last lap by.
Oh goodness!
Or the previous, the lap before what he just finished.
I mean, that's what new tires will do for you, I guess. Sean Rogers in that number 44 car The Beast Mode Performance 44 Chevrolet Camaro. Oh my, oh my. As we're approaching the 2.5 hour mark here in the race. 330 laps, 334 is the lap we're on now. 333 in the books.
Yeah, and certainly, you know, Sean Rogers, this is the most challenge he's had all race long. You know, having a guy just 4/10 behind him. And it looks like Matt Long is really starting to get to the 93 and try to put some pressure on him here. And, I mean, if he's going to challenge Rogers at all tonight, he's going to have to get by this 93 and really push to get up to Rogers and kind of force him into a position that he hasn't really been in tonight.
And that's the thing about Matt Long is, you know, he's always there at the end. He comes out of nowhere. He got that Matt Kenseth vibe about him, where he just when you think he's down and out, and here he comes. Where did he come from? Well, he ignited his way up to the front. Did you like how he did that?
Of course I did.
I want to thank everybody for being here and joining us in the YouTube.com live chat once again. Thanks for making Sim Racing Media and SNN Stacy Strong Cup Series your entertainment destination. As well, look, you know, what a race that we've got going on so far. As we are officially under the lights here to finish out this last 62 laps here, and you know, it's been a whole lot of fun tonight. You know, hanging out with everybody here in the YouTube.com live chat. Dave Regal, want to give a shout out to him for bringing us the green, as we have 61 laps to go, and this is going to probably be the fastest 61 laps that you'll see. As the old Elton John song says, "Don't let the sun come down on me." And well, that's exactly what Sean Rogers wants to happen. He's almost out to a 1 second lead over Tane Hodgson.
Yeah, and you know, watching these guys as they fall further behind Rogers, it's just one of those things. It's like, what's Rogers on that, you know, is different than these two guys?
I think Sean Rogers knows something that nobody else does, and that's how to get around Richmond. Look, I imagine after 2 weeks, he's probably practiced a whole lot. We're working lap 3:42. We got 58 laps to go here in this one. You know, and right now, as it stands, we're going to go through the field right now. Tane Hodgson running second to Sean Rogers, who's about a half second back. Matt Long rounding out your top three. Paul Hill currently runs in that fourth position. Chris Davis rounding out your top five. Tanner Marty up 11 spots is currently running sixth position right now. While Eric Papineau currently sits back there in the seventh position. The modern day Silver Fox running 8th position right now. As we get into the lap down cars, Bobby Anderson, the Candyman, is your first car lap down. As if the caution were to come out right now, he'd be the lucky dog. Michael Whitten at number 88, PepsiCo Chevrolet Camaro. He is currently running he's running your top 10, currently running the 10th. Ron Fitting back here behind Chris Claude. He's currently running 11th right now. As Chad Sander, who's 12th, who's a long shot behind these guys, is running 12th. Michael Caffrey is just behind Chad Sander and Ron Fitting. He's currently running 13th. Timothy Cook in that 09 car is currently ahead of Chris Claude in that Red Bull car. That car definitely does need some wings. And then you got the 62 car just up ahead of Timothy Cook, running 15th. Chris Claus, the chief cook and bottle washer here at SNN, he is currently running 16th and multiple laps down. While Mark Johnson currently runs in that 17th position. He is at least, 4 laps down. Then you got Tyler Sexton currently running 18th, 11 laps down. Steve Herring running 19th, and he is 14 laps down. Chris Custer, 14 laps down also in the Tide Ride, running 20th. Matt Mackin in the 01 car, he's 28 laps down. And then the 22nd through 31st are all done for the night. So there's 22 cars left on the racetrack out of the 30 that started.
You got to give it to someone like Matt Mackin that's still out there running, basically just trying to salvage any points that he could possibly make up. Any of these guys have a major incident to where they're out early enough. I mean, they've got to get out with, less than 14, some less, or more than 14, some more than 17 laps to go for him to capitalize on that.
Well, now
but any of these guys that possibly have any of this trouble, he can work down the laps to jump over them.
Well, right now we're at 50 laps to go here. 50 laps to the end of this race, and look, you're looking at Sean Rogers, who's better than the second and a half of over Matt Long, and Matt Long's got essentially 50 laps to close that deficit. So the sands of the hourglass is definitely starting to run out for Matt Long in that number 97 car.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Long is going to have a massive uphill battle. I mean, you got to, 1, catch Sean Rogers, and then 2, pass Sean Rogers, and 3, not let Sean Rogers get away even more than he already is. And I mean, you got to do all that in, a little over 48 laps.
Well, right now, Sean Rogers has definitely been the smooth operator. I like that nickname.
Smooth operator.
I like that nickname. Not to be confused with the reigning, defending World of Outlaw champion, the smooth operator Bobby Pierce, but Sean Rogers definitely been the smooth operator here tonight. And Amanda Price, if you like that nickname, please chime in with a thumbs up, and I will make sure that Dave Regal calls him the smooth operator.
And I mean, this is the first time that anyone's been able to make any kind of time on Matt Long. Or on Sean Rogers, my apologies there. Down to a second and 2/10. But, it keeps shrinking, but then Rogers kind of pulls away, and it's almost like Sean Rogers knows that he's kind of losing time, and he's maintaining a gap. Not pushing too hard, not easing up too much, just maintaining the gap that he has to Matt Long. And, just when he needs to give it a little extra, he can put that pedal down and make it work. But ultimately, he's in that state where he's just got to maintain and keep running how he is, and let the tires, fall off slower than maybe Matt Long, who's probably pushing a lot harder than Rogers is right now.
44 laps to go here in this one here, and it continues to be all Sean Rogers over Matt Long, and that's down to a 1.21 second deficit. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and step aside and take our final commercial break of the evening here. And we'll be right back here on Sim Racing Media.
Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D Cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Welcome back here. 30 laps to go here in the Stacy Strong SNN Cup Series, and we will be with you the rest of the way commercial free. I'm Alan Bergen. Alongside of me is Jordan Burkell, and we are live just outside of St. Louis, Missouri in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Studio. And right now it's been all Sean Rogers since he is out to a 2-second lead.
Yeah, I mean, he's still maintaining just a little bit larger of a gap that he had right before we went to break. But like I said, gets cut off by the 0-1 there, so that's something he's going to have to worry and look out for as this race closes down, because it's only going to take a quick, simple little incident to set him behind and possibly out of this race.
Yeah, right now, Sean Rogers is your points leader coming into tonight, as Matt Long sits there right in second. So Sean Rogers riding high, wide, and handsome. Paul Hill back there in third position. He's got a 2.5 second deficit to make up over Sean Rogers there. Rocking Sean Rogers, the smooth operator Sean Rogers. And I tell you what, look, Sean Rogers is going for the sweep of the stages tonight. He wins stage 1, wins stage 2. I got a feeling, Sean, 26 laps to go. Sean Rogers is doing Sean Rogers type of things out there on the racetrack tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's basically on his own ride. I mean, he might as well be like Jean Girard and having a little bit of a macchiato.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh man, Neil Pierce.
Mean, he's basically already headed towards Ronald Reagan International Airport to get on a plane to go up to Michigan. So.
Oh goodness gracious! This Neil Pearson, the modern day Silver Fox, as Matt Miller called him, out of Perth, Western Australia, and one of 2 Aussies in the field tonight. As Cody McCorkle wins the race in the beer stand, as I call it. We got 22 laps to go here in the race here tonight. 376 laps complete. Coming to get 378. It's been Sean Rogers the whole time. I mean, you know, it's just, like who gave Dave Regal the keys to the drone again? You know, it's funny. Dave Regal calls Matt his work wife, and you know Shane Lake his work mistress. That makes me and you the redheaded stepchild. So you know, if they ever go Splitsville, I get to go with Dad. You can have your pick over the wife or the mistress. Sean Rogers, nonetheless, as we're high above the Richmond Raceway. Is it Richmond Raceway now or Richmond International Raceway still?
I think it's still Richmond International Raceway. I could be wrong.
I mean, it's undergone a name change at least once.
I mean, it might just be Richmond Raceway because of the RR logo, but I honestly could not tell you.
So we have a concert venue here in St. Louis. Since we got 20 laps to go here. We had a concert venue here in St. Louis. It's been named, you know. So if you were born in the '80s and you lived all through the '90s, you know it as Riverport.
Which I was not.
Okay. So you know it as Riverport, right, or the Riverport Amphitheater, and you know it's a great story behind this, right? So Guns N' Roses plays a show here in St. Louis, and so it's Guns N' Roses, and gosh, I can't think of the other band, 18 in Life, song 18 in Life. Who sings that?
Skid Row.
Skid Row. Skid Row's opening for, and this is 1991. So Skid Row's opening for, Guns N' Roses, right? And there's a guy there snaps a picture. Axl Rose sees the camera. Often, now if you know 80s hair bands and you've been around long enough to know Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose has a wee little bit of a tipper, right? Sees the guy snaps the picture, cancels the show, hops off the stage. Next thing you know, there's a riot, effectively known as the Guns N' Roses riot show. Guns N' Roses has not been to St. Louis until 2015 when the Deftones opened for them at the Dome. So after being named Riverport for all those years, and it was the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater, and it was that for a while. Then it was the UMB Bank Pavilion, and now it's effectively called the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. So we got 15 laps to go. Sean Rogers is out to a 3-second lead. 3 seconds.
And that kind of, I feel like, attests to what I was saying. You know, he was saving and maintaining the gap to Matt Long, and hit a certain point where he just said, all right, time to put all this car down to the ground. Still running 23-28s, just ran a 23-24. So this man on an absolute roll and just not letting up. You know, Matt Long last time by ran a 23.52, so 0.2 off of the time that Sean Rogers is running.
Well, you know, you say that, and you know what they call it. I think this would be effectively what we would call a no-hitter in auto racing, especially in NASCAR, when you can lead all three of the stages and win all three of the stages. With this obviously being the
I mean, it's definitely the closest. I mean, the only thing he could go for more is leading every single lap for what I would deem basically a perfect game in baseball.
I think that would be I think winning the stages would be hitting for the cycle.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely close to that. I feel like I just personally like the no-hitter connection, just because of how long a NASCAR race is. And, the pitcher is the biggest man on defense. So it's just one of those things. It's like, he came out, he threw all his pitches, and, didn't let anybody get through and take anything from him.
Well, we have 11 laps to go. Sean Rogers doing Sean Rogers things 11 to go here. Want to thank everybody for making Sim Racing Media and the SN and Stacy Strong Cut Series a part of your evening, on your phones, on your tablets, on your computers. We would definitely want to thank you for making, thank everybody for making us your entertainment destination here on this wonderful Sunday night. Look, if you're upset about the way the real life NASCAR race ended, come over here, watch Sunday Night NASCAR. These races end way better. As right now, the smooth operator, Sean Rogers, continues to lead by 3.5 seconds with 9 laps to go. And, you know, Jordan, the sands of the hourglass are definitely running out on Matt Long right now and Paul Hill. As I really just don't see a pathway.
And I mean, honestly, in my opinion, those sands have already ran out. They're just simply staring at an empty hourglass right now as Sean Rogers continues to pull away almost to a 3.5 second lead over Matt Long, and growing it even further as I'm saying this spiel.
Yeah, 7 laps to go, and I mean, honestly, this has been close to about right now, in our timing, we're approaching 2 hours and 45 minutes of racing action. And look, we've only had 6 cautions, which is very, very nice. And don't forget, tomorrow night you catch Mike DeMonte with the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series as they take on the historic Chicagoland Speedway, as we have a half a dozen laps left in the books. And Sean Rogers is going to handily go around Chris Custer in that number 66 side rod as we come down to get 5 flanges, 5 laps to go.
And just in that span of time, he went from a 3.5 second to just short of a 4.5 second lead.
Pick him up, put him down. That's all you got to do. Coming around turn 3 and 4 to get 4 laps to go. And, you know, this is, look, Jordan, you know, I want to give a shout out to Matt Mettler and the valiant effort he picked up to try to make it here tonight, as Mother Nature had other plans for him, as he took two lightning strikes, and the second one was the one that knocked him out. As we come to get 3 to go, and Sean Rogers continues to be perfect.
Yeah, now grown to a 4 7/10 second lead, 4.8 second lead. It's just like he's just not letting up. He's just putting everything to the ground that he can get to stick. And it's almost one of those things, he wants to see how high he can get that. Just short of 5 seconds coming to the line, going to be not quite 5 seconds at the line, but I mean, he's running a 23.57 to Matt Long's, 23.74. So 2/10 a lap. Some more, as these guys are also battling through lap traffic now, up to 5 seconds.
Well,
he's going to come out of turn. He's going to come out of turn 4. He's going to grab that white flag here, and he's going to set sails to see that checkered flag on the way back.
Yeah, we're racing back to green. The driver out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, brings it down the back straightaway. Gonna go ahead and get in front of the 3 car of Ron Fitting as he comes out of turn 3 and 4. Sean Rogers will win here at Richmond. The smooth operator picks up the win. Matt Long finishing second. Paul Hill finishing third. Tane Hodgson, Chris Davis rounding out your top 5. And what a win. And Amanda Price is definitely jumping up and down as Sean Rogers crosses the line first and look, just annihilates the field with that 5-second lead.
Yeah, and I mean, that just shows you the strength that he had tonight. And, he would basically from the get-go said, this is his race, and I don't care who gets in my way, it's my race.
Sean Rogers, your winner here tonight, and he's going to burn it down. As Sean Rogers takes Richmond here. Meanwhile, while he's burning it down, we're going to go ahead and start finding our guys. for our let's see here for our interviews. There's that. Find. And then joining first in the broadcast booth is the smooth operator, Sean Rogers. Congratulations on that win tonight.
Yeah, thanks, guys. How's it going?
Hey, man, look, I just gave you a nickname, and I hope it sticks.
Yeah, you can't steal it from Carlos Sainz, though, so you got to come up with something better. Matt's got Sean Rockin' Rogers, so I think that might be the one.
Hey, look, I'm trying here. With that here, with her, with the way you dominated this field tonight, I technically called you the smooth operator, and taking a book out of the smooth operator Bobby Pierce's nickname. But anyways,
Right.
What a run, man! 5-second lead is what you crossed the line with. So take us through that race.
Yeah, the Beast Mode Chevy was she was fast all night, especially on the long runs. It seemed that once I got out front and you get through the first 20 laps or so, I started to gap them. So it was really just trying to keep it out of trouble, be safe, and be patient around lap cars. I didn't want something dumb to happen and get spun. So yeah, just keep it out of trouble. But yeah, the car was bad fast today, man.
Well, look. So now next week, I believe we go to Michigan if I'm not tripping and not following if I'm following the right NASCAR schedule. So next week we go to Michigan. Essentially a home race for you. Do the home races kind of make you drive harder than you would say at like a Richmond or something like that, or a race like track like this?
As much as I'd love to win the home race, I will not be joining you fellas because I will be there. So, unfortunately, I won't be racing next week. But it is a track that I like. So, looking forward to running in officials. But I'll definitely take sitting in the stands over watching on TV.
Well, look, man. Before we get you out of here, is there anybody that you would like to thank to help get you here tonight?
Yeah, thank Amanda Price for always there supporting me. Thank to all my teammates over there at BMP. Thanks to Reichel Performance. That's what the setup was tonight. So thanks to them. And then shout out to you guys for putting on a broadcast. I always go back and watch them, and especially if I win, you best believe I'm watching it. And then shout out to Chris for putting this league on. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, Sean. Well, before we get you out of here, congratulations on winning tonight, and we'll see you on the next one.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Yep, and that was your winner, Sean Rogers. And next, we're going to bring up Matt Long to the broadcast booth. Matt Long, second place is, wishing it was one spot better. But take us through that race and what you could have done differently.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty happy. I just never had the car under me all race, so I just was trying to stay out of trouble, trying to work on it a little bit. I was just so loose off, and honestly, probably had maybe a third or fourth place car. So happy to come home in second. I had nothing for Sean. Props to Sean, man. He was on rails. He was super fast out front. So it's good to be back, man, after the break, and come home with a P2. We'll take it.
Yeah, speaking of the break, what do you guys do during an Olympic 2-week break? I mean, you guys had to be going stir crazy.
Yeah, I didn't race at all. I kind of just enjoyed getting some stuff done on Sunday nights, and took a little break myself. So I was ready to get back, but yeah, it was a nice break. I like that. I think the season being so long, and next year I think the only week off is Easter. I think there should probably be 1 or 2 other weeks off. But that's just my thought.
Well, look, buddy, before we get you out of here, is there anybody that you'd like to thank that helped get you here tonight?
Yeah, just Chris for running the league and you guys for putting on the show and all the fans out there watching, and then my teammates, Neil and Bobby, and they're just awesome.
Well, look, man, we're going to go ahead and get you out of here so you can celebrate that podium finish with your teammates, and have a good night. We'll see you on the next one.
All right, good night. Thanks.
And that was Matt Long there, your second place finisher. But last and not least, rounding out your podium tonight,
dude,
which would be Paul Hill. Paul, rounding out the podium, it looked like you had a chance there at Sean Rogers, but couldn't quite pull it off. Take us through that race and what more you kind of needed to get by, to get by these guys.
Oh, Sean, I mean, first off, he just had a lights out car. There was no catching Sean tonight. I mean, kudos to him. It was fun chasing him, but I didn't have anything for Sean. And, I ran second most of that race and had a little bit of an incident with Neil. No harm, no foul. Just kind of a racing deal, dealing with lap cars, and got some rear end damage on the diffuser, and the car just wasn't right for the last 80 laps. It was wrecking loose, and I was just holding on, hoping I could get a top 5, to be honest. So this third place feels pretty good. Definitely wanted, a win, or second would have been cool, but I'll take the third considering the situation. I want to be grateful for that at least.
All right. Well, before we get you out of here, is there anybody that you'd like to thank that helped get you here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the guys over at 4 Wide Motorsport. Got me on the charter this week, and it's been a lot of fun racing with them. And I want to thank the guys over at Team Conti Sim Performance for the setup. It was super fast. I felt like if I could have kept the car clean, I definitely could have brought it home at the very least second. But I want to thank those guys over there, and then, of course, the boys over at Dent Slayer for the tools to do my job. So.
Well, all right. Well, next week we're in Michigan, so we'll see you next week at Michigan, and have a good week, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, sir. You too.
And that was our third place finisher, Paul Hill. And, before we wrap this one up here, what a race that this was. And I got to tell you, these guys just get better and better every week. But before we get on out of here, we are going to go over our race results here as they come up here. Sean Rogers, in dominating fashion, will pick up the win here in Richmond at the Stacy Storm Cup Series, with Matt Long out of Dirty South Racing picking up the P2 finish. Rounding out your podium will be Paul Hill. Tane Hodison will finish 4th. 5th going to Chris Davis. Neil Pearson, the modern-day Silver Fox, will pick up P6. 7th, 8th, and 9th will go to Bobby Anderson, the Candyman, Bobby Anderson, Tanner Marty, and Eric Papineau. 10th, 11th, and 12th will go to Michael Witt, Ryan Fitting, and Chad Sanner. 13th, 14th, and 15th will go to Michael Caffrey, Timothy Cook, and Mark Johnston. 16th, 17th, and 18th will go to John Wilco, Chris Claude, your Chief Cook and Bottle Washer, and Tyler Sexton. As we move through there we go. Finishing 19th will be Steve Herring. The Tide Ride of Chris Custer will finish 20th. Matt Mackin will finish 21st. 22nd will go to Logan Giesebrecht, while Rich Jett will finish 23rd. Richard Pruitt finishes 24th. Derek Heitman will finish 26th. Ken Ron will finish 20th. Derek Heitman will finish 25th. Ken Ron will finish 26th. 27th going to Noah Hamilton. Finishing 28th will be Rodrigo Lavita Loco Loga, finishing 28th. Diego Rodriguez from The Outsiders on Thursday night, and AMA on Sunday nights will finish 29th. Brian Tarnowski will finish 30th, and winning the race of the beer standing, Winning the race to the beer stand and rounding out your field will be Cody McCorkle. That's going to do it here from Richmond Raceway. Don't forget tomorrow night at 7 or 8 Eastern, 7 or 7:30 Eastern. Don't forget tomorrow you can catch Monday Night NASCAR live here on YouTube with Sim Racing Media. Mike Damani will be on the call for that one as he brings you the racing action from Chicagoland Speedway in beautiful Joliet, Illinois. But that's on behalf of tonight, by behalf of myself and Jordan Breckel and Matt Metler and Dave Regal. I'm Alan Bergen, and you have watched the Sunday Night NASCAR Stacy Strong Cup Series. And as we go through life, please don't play in traffic. Good night.